It's Rita. She's escaped and she's attacking the planet.
Ay, what do we do?
Teleport to us 5 overbearing and over-emotional humans.
No, not that, not teenagers.
It's Morphin time! Dragon Sword!
Mastodon!
Pterodactyl!
Triceratops!
Saber-tooth tiger!
Tyrannosaurus!
I am the Blue Ranger. I'm the Black Ranger. I am the Red Ranger.
You can call me the Pink Ranger.
Incredible. I'm the Silver Ranger.
And I'm the Yellow Ranger.
How's it going, everybody? Power Rangers are back once again. I freaking love that clip, too. I love how the guy's like, I'm the Silver Ranger. That's right. That's the one I forgot. I love that. That would have been funny if he said pink, though. Then she's like, shit, I just say I'm silver now. God damn it. But how's it going, everybody? We're doing Power Ranger stream number 5 today. Got 2 experts with me on the panel. I'll call you guys experts because, why not? This. And we are going to be talking about the Power Rangers movies. Mighty Morphin, the Turbo one, and the 2017 Power Rangers movie. And we're obviously probably going to dive a little bit into some other stuff here and there. We usually do for references, cases, and whatnot. But to introduce yourselves, start us off, Angela Straven. What's up, dude?
Angela Straven. I'm usually gaming streaming over on my channel. I just did a Battle of the Grid live stream last night. So after this, if you want to check that out, go over there.
Sweet. Sounds awesome. I'll put a link to his channel in the chat in just a sec. And then we also got the Script Doctor. Introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. I'm the Script Doctor, and I'm also something of a Power Ranger and Super Sentai fan, and I'm very honored to be here tonight with you two gentlemen.
Hell yeah, it's been a long time coming, man. It was a nice surprise that you were also a Power Ranger nerd. You never know.
It's a fascinating series, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
It's like one of those guilty pleasures.
Well, it's like it's one of those ones that's like it can be The Room and it could be something that's really good too. So it's like it can be one of those complete. Oh, it's good for its cheese, or it's great for its actual drama or action or something. So it's a show with all that complete mix. Yeah. And I do realize that a lot of people are streaming tonight. So if you are watching this one, I appreciate you coming on by because there's a lot of choices right now. So with quarantine going on, there's a lot of different choices for viewing pleasures and whatnot. But I say hello to the chat real quick. We already got the AFK Bard in the chat, and he seems like he's raring to go. You got some questions. If you want to post some questions in the chat, go ahead, man. Seems like you're ready and raring to go. And we got the Ancient One always coming around. Oh, that's me. Oops. There we go. Ancient One says, what's up? Says, looks, loads, haste. I got to get glasses when I do these because I can't see what the hell they say. I'm like, because I usually wear glasses like when I'm not streaming, but I'm like, looking at this and I'm like, I thought that said load. I thought that said something else. Just loads of paste or something. And it's loads of haste. So, oops. AFK says, I'll hold off. Might learn something. Just maybe. We'll see. What about, let's just start with the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie, guys. I know that Angelus and I have talked about that briefly in some of the other ones, and I've broached that with some of the other panelists I've had before. But, I think we can pull even more out of it this time, So, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie released in 1995. For you guys?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
America anyway. I think so. Around then, that's a year after I was born. So it's just right around there. It could have been 1999. I think it was 95. Okay, I actually don't know. But
no, it wasn't 1999. That's
way too late.
Yeah, that's late.
Okay, it must have been 1995 then, because that was around when season 3 would have been. If they started in 1993, that's around when they probably would have done that. But that's all good. Anyway, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie has, it took its own original take on trying to go into season 3 because they already had footage they planned on using for the regular parts of the show with Ninjor and whatnot, and Rito and stuff. But they, were like, okay, let's try to go our own route here. Let's make a new villain and see what we can do. And they made Ivan Ooze. I think he's the best person that we could start off with to talk about with that show. And if people don't know anything about him, I'll give you all a little glimpse.
All the things that I have missed. The Black Plague. The Spanish Inquisition. The Brady Bunch reunion.
The Brady Bunch reunion.
How do you know he missed all those things?
I know, right?
He had some type of awareness of what was going on with the world when he was in the hyperbolic chamber or something. He references, like, he had a Charlie horse since the Renaissance, and he knows all these things. So as he's in there, he's just, I assume he has a little television. I don't know. Like, it's internet.
Or if he was in like a giant egg, it could have been like he heard a lot of the things going on.
Just from around the planet. I mean, why not? So he's in the Earth, so he can. That's what he can do, I suppose. But I find it to be like he's a creative villain, but I can't really see him being a long time villain. I could see him being a couple, multi-parted episode type of one, but I don't know. His powers were kind of unclear. It's just ooze and electricity.
Yeah, pretty much it.
He can spawn gooey monsters and spawn birds. Like,
he's some sort of goo wizard.
Yeah, I guess. I kind of. It would make more sense if the birds came from somewhere else, but I think he just spat out the birds and he just flopped those ooze guys. Like, at least he could have swapped those around.
Yeah, which is weird because he used those ooze dudes in the beginning and then switched to the Sangu after that.
Yeah, which was an odd choice, very odd choice, but you do what you do. But yeah, so what did you guys think of him?
At the time, I thought he was pretty neat, like, because as a kid, you just watch it to watch it. But I thought it was interesting as a kid. Growing up, though, I wish they would have tied it in with the show. I know they didn't, but it would have been interesting to see him in the show, just interact with like Zed he does in this, but I mean like interact with the other characters in the show and stuff. But
do you think it would have been cool if he became the main villain or became like another, like a third party villain or something like that? Can
like a third party or like a general or something, or like took over just for a little bit, and in the time like in the show while he's taken over, like Zed and Rita are like in the back, like trying to figure out a way to like gain control back.
Well, that's kind of like what they did with Zeo, though, with the machine and whatnot. They literally sniped shots at them and sometimes saved the Rangers in the show to spite the machine empire, basically. So, yeah, I think it would make more sense if they had Zed and Rita still be kind of the main ones, and then he's like a third party that can, either help or align with whoever sometimes or cause problems for both. That would be interesting.
In space, where he's sort of like a third wheel, and like helps out every now and then, or
or just be a competitor against Rita and
that too.
Zed. Just have a fun little races who can conquer Earth first, and then Zed and Rita try to usurp Ooze by helping the Power Rangers, and then Ooze helps the Power Rangers to usurp Zed and Rita. Just back and forth that way.
We can throw in a third enemy as well, the Master Rider guy, right? Isn't he on Earth at the same time? As far as the Power Ranger canon goes, he goes to Earth because the Rangers were there, and those were the guys who interfered with his plans, and then the Master Rider has to go there to stop him, but apparently in the show it's totally different.
Oh, it's completely different.
There. But,
I don't even remember much of Master Rider. I just know that the tone in Japan for that is way different.
I tried to watch that first episode of Master Rider. It's actually on YouTube somehow. And I was like, oh my God, the little fucking creature. Oh my God. He's just waddling around.
Doesn't his or something talk in that?
I don't know if he has actual language. He's gibberish, like I don't even know, but it's just like, oh hey, come here, little Ewok guy, and it's like, God, why the fuck are we following this thing? And then it's like they're supposed to be death, and they have these riders that look, are on horseback trying to hunt them down, and I don't know. It's just like it was a mix of tone. To me, I couldn't see the dark tone that you said it had. I just see this goofiness trying to be cool. I don't know, like with Alf. That's what I was thinking of. Like it's Alf.
Okay.
Alf in space. That's what I thought of with that.
It's funny.
But sorry. Okay, sorry. I didn't mean to go on a Master Rider for a sec. But so back to the Ivan Ooze thing. I do wish that he and Zed and whatnot would have had like a more of an actual fight, not so much of a one-sided victory. Because answer me this, guys. Okay, I'm kind of confused timeline-wise. He said he was in this chamber for 6,000 years, and that Zordon locked him away using basically Power Rangers of that time or something. But was Zordon asleep or just in the chamber at that time? Because he's this is when Rita was 10,000 years in the dumpster on the moon. I don't know. So how?
Yeah.
Where
So
would it be?
So my understanding is that Zordon and Rita had a confrontation, which resulted in him being put into a time vortex at the same time as he cast a spell on her to lock her in the space dumpster. So he's been in this that tube for 10,000 years, and he's had Rangers help protect the world throughout that time, but not really consistently compared to now. And I think the last time there was a real big Ranger team was the one that put Ivan Ooze into that little egg thing and then buried him in there. And then Lord Zed has been around, I guess, conquering the universe elsewhere until...
That confuses me big time, and especially if we go into the expanded universe of the bad guys, it kind of gets confusing. But as far as
then you also have Master Vile, who just ignored the fact that his daughter was in a space dumpster for 10,000 years.
Well, right, there's that. Well, I can understand him doing that, man. He's like, she's out of my hair, thank God. But there's like when you go to Wild Force, I think that they go back to 3,000 years ago. When they had the orcs or something that they were fighting, and they had their own little ranger team of themselves too, which I don't know. I'm trying to think of timeline stuff when they keep on going back in time with the Rangers of the past. I get kind of confused because they set the 10,000 years already. So
for one version of the Rangers, there are many different versions of Rangers on many different planets, and it is confusing. It is pretty. I think RPM is the only one that's in canon, but from another universe in canon.
Yeah, they're in another universe. They established that. I think.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like the Alien Rangers and the Space Rangers and Galaxy Rangers and.
Yeah, when it's like with the Alien ones, did they make their own power, or is that also from the power coins or Zordon?
It's from another power source.
Some power source that can tap into the power grid.
Yeah,
right.
Like the Alien Rangers are like from water or some sort of water power source.
Yeah. Aquatar.
From Nemo or something. The power of Nemo. But okay, I don't know. That just kind of I don't know. I guess it would make more. I wish they were a little more consistent on their timelines and how Rangers.
In the comic, they have Goldar and this other guy, like I think his like brother or something, and their race of people, like fight for to be like the best out of their people. And he goes into Zed's throne room, and Zed is like, I need you to go do this. But the other guy is like, we need to act and show dominance, basically. And Zed's like, now's not the time for that, and basically tells Goldar to take him out. And then sends Goldar to Rita as like a second in command, basically to spy on her and report back to Zed because he's like above her, like pay grade. So
I like that. And that makes sense too, as to when he's like, "Oh, Zed's back. Screw you, bitch. I'm going away."
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, I'm loyal to you." And then, nope, I get my dude back.
That's where he gets his sword from. He gets his sword. Goldar gets his sword from this other guy. And he takes that as his trophy, basically.
I assume they added that into lore after they.
Yeah, I'm assuming so. Yeah.
Well, because especially Zed was created afterward too, and all that. So, but I do like that. That kind of makes sense with how they're doing stuff and whatnot. AFK Bard says, so he's sharp and has the balls to get things done. He's talking about Ooze or something. I'm naughty tonight. Sorry. No, that's cool. That's cute. I don't know. So I don't know if I have much more to say on Ooze, to be honest. I thought his plan was kind of stupid.
Makeup's not bad.
It was actually okay for it being
that
full
mind
on
control thing that he does too with his Ooze as well.
Yeah.
A lot of purple GAC. That was a big popular seller at the time, GAC. So they just got purple version of that and relabeled it.
Yeah, I will say that, like, when they had Apocalypse in the X-Men movie, Ivan Ooze looked better than that.
Oh,
yeah. He looked like it just looked better. It's more believable that this Ivan Ooze thing would be a villain.
It was just bad. Like, I don't know if you remember the animated series of X-Men, but every time Apocalypse was on screen, you had this sense of anxiety that shit was about to go down.
Right, it's like, okay, our heroes can't beat him. Crap.
It didn't have any of that. You didn't feel that at all when he was on screen.
Yeah.
Especially when they make so many of the other people almost like be able to do damage to him pretty easily enough. Like,
exactly.
Even Quicksilver had like good shots on him. If he didn't get his legs, then could have been defeated by Quicksilver.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, guys, it is easy to get off topic a little bit, but that's what's fun with this though too. We can make these references and whatnot. What did you think of his little Zords? He had like little bug Zords or something. Ivan and the silver creatures.
Oh yeah, the ant and the scorpion. Yeah.
I thought they just got inspired from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids or something. I was like, an ant and a scorpion fought in that. Let's make them the two things for this guy or something. And
yeah, that entirely could be the case. I mean, that was a pretty popular movie at that time as well.
Yeah,
and this was them where I think they spent about maybe $5 or $6 million on the computer animation for this film.
Okay.
And it shows.
Yeah, it definitely shows.
It's like, we figured out the chrome aspect of this texture. Let's just throw that on everything.
They should have just used toys, literally, because even if that would have looked stiff and weird, it doesn't look nearly as bad as
done like the practical effects like they did in the show.
Yeah, which Turbo learned from that, which was good. They didn't screw up that. What do you guys think of just the Rangers in general in the movie, in the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie? Let's start with the beginning. They start out skydiving and rollerblading, and then they're
skydiving for charity to pay for the observatory something to so they can see a comet that's going to be passing nearby in a couple of days.
Good deed that they do all the time. Okay. Yeah. And a lot of Tommy dick sucking immediately from a lot of people. This kid was like, wow, Tommy, you're so cool.
Extreme sports really popular at the time. So like, let's have skydiving and rollerblading. And
was that the extreme time zone in that area? Okay.
And skydiving with a surfboard because, that's how it works.
Extreme, yes. And he's the only one that can do it. So that's what you got to do. But I thought it was an okay intro. I mean, if you're in the movie theater and you never see that on the show, so it's like, that was kind of an okay addition. And, it was all right. And they had Bulk and Skull, in there too. And it was okay. Bulk and Skull had the first lines of dialogue, I think.
Well, probably because they're the only two guys. Like the actors who played those characters, they wrote their lines and they wrote their sketch comedy scenes throughout the entire production.
They were in charge of their own scenes.
Yeah, because they were told, "Listen, come up with some sort of like conflict and goofy thing, and here's the prop room, and get back to us when we're ready to shoot." And they would do it.
If they were to have released Power Rangers and called it the Bulk and Skull show, I think they could sell it like that because
they tried doing that. Actually,
they're in half the show.
They shot a spin-off where they were working for a hotel, and it did not get picked up.
Well, no, even if they already technically did that when they're policemen, they're detectives, they're private eyes and whatever. They're on their own little shenanigans. They're trying to be scientists and discover aliens. Like they go on their own show.
Oh, and when Skull oversleeps, that's because the actor was getting his doctorate.
I know, right?
I know.
So he couldn't come. He couldn't come back to shoot because he was like getting his doctorate for like a year and a half. So he missed the space flight for
Galaxy. That's funny. I like that. But I mean, I kind of liked how they got introduced. Okay, and what do you guys think of the command center? And Zordon and stuff and Alpha. They changed the command center, Zordon, and Alpha.
It looks like they put some money into it.
Yeah. I'd say it looked like a more expensive set. But what do you think, Angelus?
It was interesting. They kind of basically took the normal thing and jacked it up to 100. with the new set, basically.
Oh yeah, you gotta take advantage of those Australian tax credits in the early '90s.
And I know with Bulk and Skull, they were saying that they had a lot of downtime when they were over in Australia. So a lot of times they would come back on set and razz the other guys because they were always working. And they're like, yeah, guess what? We're off and you gotta work.
Yeah. That's pretty
So
funny.
they actually got to like sightsee and do all that stuff while they were in Australia.
And they were also shooting regular Power Ranger episodes at the time they were shooting the movie as well. Like there's like one where they go back in time and it's like the Wild West. They shot that in Australia while they were doing the movie.
No, that's smart. That's smart. Utilize
Oh
what
yeah,
you got.
that's the whole reason. That's what they did. They just basically amortized their film expenses to pay for more episodes of the series.
Wasn't that the time like Kat came into the show too? Like
I think so. Yeah.
Well, Kat, I don't know. She kind of came in
a little after that.
I think it was a little after that because she
Well, they
wasn't.
filmed a lot of her stuff there, and then by the time it aired, it was like late '95, early '96. She arrived.
Well, yeah, because Kat wasn't in any desert scenes. She was in park scenes and streets for the most part. She wasn't really in any out of the world areas. God, that is so funny to notice the setting changes of the whole show as you go on. It's like, oh, they're in the main parks, and then they're in regular streets and stuff. By you get to toward the end, and it's like, God, what happened to the canyons? Yeah, they would always conveniently end up being in or the top of rooftops all the time. But yeah, that's funny. What do you guys think of the Rangers, the armor, like the armor that they chose for the suits?
I enjoyed it. I liked the utility that they added to the suits, like with the spotlights and then some of the other little gadgets that the other Rangers had. I liked all that stuff.
The bat crane or whatever that Billy ended up having and whatnot.
Oh, that was like, yeah, that was a taser he used as a grappler.
Yes, grappler that was, yeah. And Kimberly had like a whip somehow. What do you think?
The costumes were kind of neat. I mean, definitely I like the updated versions of the helmets. The armor was all right, but it looked kind of like bulky, unnecessarily bulky for them. But I get what they were trying to do. They were trying to really make us like, yeah, these are like the real Power Rangers. They're not wearing spandex. They're just they're in the same material that their helmet's made out of, so they're going to be okay.
Yeah, I thought that was a pretty good move in a way. I mean, I would have been okay actually if they kept the spandex, to be honest. But I'm glad they didn't try to CGI them too.
Yeah.
Well, they tried to CGI the lenses on the helmets because they actually had their eyes exposed for a little bit of that production. Yeah. And got the footage back and like, yeah, it doesn't look good. We got to put some lenses in those helmets.
Yes. That's good. That's good. I'm glad they did that then. Man, comparing it to the 2017 movie, I mean, I'm sorry, I was not a fan of the CGI suit. So I appreciate, if they're going to have, it's kind of hard to make this look cool, I suppose, like considering it's just skin tight suits. And then with this, they just kind of bulked them up a bit and tried to make them look a little shinier. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's just fine. And they added more, sounds rather than their typical or whatever.
Well, every movement they made, there's a whooshing sound, like when they're moving their head, nodding and stuff.
They did have extra sounds in it. I didn't notice too. Extra whips, and Billy does a lot of unnecessary flips.
That's how he moves. Actually, he has to backflip everywhere. He can't walk.
There's a scene in it literally where Kimberly is doing some backflips. She's gymnastics, so you can assume that's part of her fighting style. But then he's just like, right behind you, Kimberly, and he's like also flipping back and forth. Just like, why?
Well, the actor was also a gymnast as well, like, so that's why they asked him to do it.
I guess I mean the character.
Oh no, yeah, especially it's completely. I guess like. In this version, instead of him being tutored by Jason how to fight, he was tutored by Kimberly.
Right. In this version, Elseworld, right?
Yeah.
And Jason's not there in this one, so that's something. Do you guys think that it would have been a better movie if they had the three actors in it, Jason, Zach, and Trini?
Depends, I guess. I like Jason and them, but and Aisha and.
Adam and Rocky.
Yeah.
It's like their names are so forgettable sometimes.
Yeah.
just like the other three.
I like Adam though actually better than I like Zach, to be honest.
Yeah, he has a better character.
Newer stuff that he does, yeah.
He actually has character growth. He starts off, unconfident. Quite often, he's unconfident with himself, and then finds it later. And even in Space Season, comes back to help the current Ranger gain his confidence. So
yeah, I could see like Zach when he finds out he's like got the frog spirit. He'd be like, "Well, that makes sense because of hip hop keto." And I'm like, "Oh,
no, I see him being pissed. What the fuck, a frog? God, no, fuck that."
No, he'd dig it. Zach's the guy that rolls with the punches, man. Like, and then he's going after a very toxic lady named Angela who just judges and belittles him all the time, but he just is obsessed with her for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot about that actually.
Oh yeah, that's
yeah,
that's a weird weird.
You also think of it though. They picked him for the Peace Health thing or whatever, the Peace Corps. It's like Zach before Billy. Weird, but
well, I guess they thought, well, Zach lost a finger, so I guess he knows more about combat. And
yeah, I guess so. That makes sense. Okay, I'm trying to think of anything else to wrap up with the Mighty Morphin one. I feel like we've drained it quite a bit.
Well, the plot of the movie is basically Ivan Ooze just wants to take over the world, and he does so by deciding to kill all the parents.
Yeah.
Well, he used them to uncover his Zords and then kill the parents, basically.
And then kill the parents. So now he has the Zords. He's going to take over the world, and the Power Rangers have to go to a mysterious planet and get a new power. And so basically, they just get to wander the forest.
Yeah, I did like how they had to be sent away from Earth. So it's like you don't have your powers, you don't have Zordon, you don't have Alpha. You're on your own, and you have to pretty much work together, and that's all you have. I do like that aspect, but I don't think even though
they never had a problem working together, though. That's the issue.
Yeah, there wasn't much drama for them to overcome or conflict. It was just like I didn't really feel like they lost their powers. Really, like it was so temporary. They get to the planet, they get attacked. Dulcia saves them. Aisha says the name Zordon, and all of a sudden Dulcia says, "Oh, you're with them. Okay, I'll trust you now." And then she gives them the Ninjetti stuff.
The Ninjetti power.
And then instead of them instantly going towards where the power is kept, they're like, "No, we'll just camp out here because it's not like the Earth is in trouble or anything." And
Zordon's dying.
And Zordon's dying. And then they just wander to the tower and fight some stone warriors, beat them, and return to Earth with their new power. Yeah. And
for people that don't know what we're talking about with who we're talking about, let's show her.
That Sonic thing was pretty neat with her.
Yep, it was all right. I do like how revealing she was with the clothes, because that's never been on Power Rangers before.
That is warrior rags, as they're called.
Yes, that was the most skin ever shown on Power Rangers.
Yep, especially as a kid.
Oh yeah, I think a lot of kids were like, how much more episodes is she going to be in? I want to see those ones.
Oh, right.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, it's pretty disappointing when she doesn't come back in the series.
Well, she's stuck there because if she leaves, then she ages or something. So she's
only able to.
She's only able to exist right there. Yeah, kind of locked in the same dimensional thing, I guess. But I don't know. I thought that was an interesting little addition, and that was kind of cool. But I do wish that they kind of suffered a little more. But that's the one thing they never really do with the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. They never really go through the actual loss, other than the Green with Evil is probably the best example of it, where they're all like, okay, we lost Zordon, we lost our Zords, there's our friend's a Green Ranger, there's Scorpina now. They're like, fuck. What the hell can we do?
No, that was their best little series that they had there.
Yeah.
And they made it work really well. Like that was a 3-parter, I think it was.
No, that was a 6-parter.
Oh, 6-parter. Yes.
Yeah.
That was a 6-parter, and it's like, and then if it wasn't a threat enough, then they get the Dragon Sword, like on their side, on the bad guy's side, and it's like, fuck, like, can you do anything? Like, all they have is that they can morph in the command center at some point, and it's like that's all you got. That's
all they got. And then the next big event they had was when like Lord Zed turned them all to kids, and they needed the Alien Rangers, and they didn't have their powers, and they had to like travel the world to find missing pieces of the crystal.
Didn't all the Zords get destroyed? Because I remember them like burning in this like thing as a kid, and they were like sad that their Zords were dying.
Well, the dinosaur ones did, but then they oddly kind of get revived, and then they get turned into the Thunder ones all the time whenever they call on their Zords, and I don't. Yeah, that one did get destroyed. That one just got blown up, though, I think, or torn apart. It ran out of energy and then it's blown up. The Shogun ones, I don't remember them getting destroyed because they actually were there to assist with the alien ones when they were back in time, because those Zords were the lost Zords that were then found or something. So they were able to call on them even from the past. So what's happened with those?
That's when they had like also that weird mode where they got all sparkly costumes.
Oh,
the metallic
armor.
Metallic armor.
Like sequence costume versions.
Funny too, because weren't they fighting like this bot that made them or this monster that made them dance and stuff during that?
Probably, yeah.
Don't remember if that's when it was, but I mean, it was stupid because like it was just they upgraded the Tangas or something. Just they drank some juice and they got stronger. I don't know, and they couldn't even beat the Tangas, and then they used the metallic armor to be able to beat them. And it was just like, you don't really improve anything. They're just now more invincible armor, punch harder. Like, it's such a dumb upgrade. There was no. They would have been better adding weapons of some kind.
It was very obviously a toy, new toy reveal push.
Well, it's like they could have added. They could have had that. They could have had that, and they could have had, like, let's say a Drusilla. What the hell was the
Dulcia?
Dulcia. They could have had that type of character come in around that time and like train them, teach them some new moves or something. Because
they brought in Ninjor, right? That was the other one.
Well, no, they brought in. I'm just talking about like later instead of getting the metallic power upgrade, that was also after Ninjor and stuff, like when they had the metallic ability. But like that would have been cool if they learned some new fighting techniques from somebody, rather than just get a metallic upgrade. But that's just my personal peeve is that
future shows.
Yeah. But what do you think of Ninjor script? Billy Bob.
Dudley Do-Right in a blue costume, really, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of. I loved the voice they chose for him. You know, I am Ninjor. Let's go. Evil makes me so angry. It's just like, okay.
Yeah, it's like Dudley Do-Right meets Marvin the Martian.
Yes.
I really like Rito is the one that brought in the Tengu or whatever, because he had a bunch of eggs that he brought for Rita to bring in.
That was their wedding gift, right? Or
something like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then he defeated the Rangers basically for a brief time. He defeated the Rangers for a moment. It was interesting.
Yeah, he was so powerful. He was able to beat them like on his first outing, and then afterwards he was just constantly defeated and eventually became amnesiac with Goldar. And became slaves to Bulk and Skull.
Just messing around, yeah.
You think that once Rito, Goldar, Zed, Rita, Babu, and Zazul, or whatever the hell his name was, and all
Finster,
them, Finster, like they had a bigger crew than they ever had. Scorpina just walked off the show. I guess she never had an ending episode, so she's technically, you could count her as alive. Like, you know, they could have had their own little badass little crew, throw in some other monsters or something, and they'd be a little force, at least, you know, during the Machine King area or something, the transition between the Machine Empire and Divatox or something. That would have been kind of an interesting type of power struggle to see. But they just I was gonna add the clip where Divatox calls Rita, but that's just
Oh, right. Yeah, when she's first encountering the Power Rangers.
How do you beat the Power Rangers? I know you have experience in this. Ha! If I could do that, I wouldn't be listening to this. Zed's all snoring.
Yeah. Zed, I think he's wearing like a sleep mask in that too, right?
He was. But it's like, God, and so they're supposed to be like the powerfulest of the universe, and what they're doing now, okay, like
they're supposed to be, but they keep getting beaten by a bunch of kids.
well, it's like I thought it kind of made sense because I thought they wanted to rule the planet or something, and it's like, okay, we would normally just rule, but we're squash as ever's there, but fuck, Zordon keeps on giving them all these powers and energy and stuff, so it's not as easy as we thought. But I don't know, they defeat them temporarily all the time and then lose.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have much more to say on the Mighty Morphin movie. I thought when they fought the stone guys that come to life toward like right before they get their Zords, that was all right. That's an okay sequence. There was some good, they punch them and they're like, these guys can't get beat by punch. So they have to like throw rocks on them. They have to push them over a cliff. They have to, overwhelm them kind of. So
they have to have Kimberly like constantly screaming for Tommy's help because she can't do anything on her own.
She was the damsel in distress of the whole movie.
Which was pretty terrible.
Tommy. Hang on, Kim, I'll get you. Okay. They had to fight a bone triceratops.
Yeah.
Randomly. Just randomly when they got their ninja powers, which was all right, I guess. I feel like they should have faced different trials when they were going through the forest or something. And I thought they got their ninja powers too soon. Like I thought that by the time they reached the end of the forest is when they'd get their powers, but they get it before, and then that's to get their Zords.
Exactly. There's no sense of earning or in the Power Rangers. They're just selected and given and told, okay, use these weapons the way I tell you, like the good little soldiers you are. Yep. and
that's all they do, which it would have been better. Like, okay, in the Turbo, this is the one thing that's weird. So in the Turbo movie, Rocky and Catherine actually get injured by like normal means, but then.
Catherine hurts her leg, right? Yeah.
She gets falls in the water or something and
smacks
on the bottom of the river or something, and that's something like where a ranger is kind of helpless for a bit. They do have moments in Turbo where like they're kind of, oh shit, like they're in danger, but in this just like, nah, they're fine. Like I do wish that in Power Rangers in general, and most of this in the seasons actually, that they'd show them more fatigued, show them more like worried for their own life or for other people's lives, but like they're usually just kind of always virtuous or always ready and just like not, they're joking at the moments. That's like, oh come on. As to where like you go to Time Force,
some of those little moments. Yeah.
But it's like you go to Time Force and Jen never like is in a super dramatic situation and goes like, orange, you glad I didn't say banana or something.
Yeah,
she's always in serious mode when it's needed, but she can crack a joke, but not anywhere. Like it's timing, and it's like, and all the Mighty Morphin. That's the one thing Mighty Morphin did not have, was that good sense of like despair that often. I mean, I guess when Zed arrives in their command center for the first time, that's probably one of the only times, other than with the green with evil stuff, where it's like, oh shit, he's got Kimberly, and he just you guys don't want her to be dead, so you gotta listen to Zed for the moment, and he's like, let me into your house. Like, oh shit. And I would have liked them in that moment to be sweating more, to be like, fuck, like that would have been cool to see.
I can't remember if it's at the end of Morphin or the beginning of Zeo, where they're like running through the quarry, like on their bikes, trying to get away from incoming attacks and stuff, and things are exploding.
Oh yeah, they're doing a 4x4 wheeler race. Yeah,
and like their Zords, I thought, got destroyed or something happened where they got cut off or whatever.
No, that was at the end of season 1 of the Mighty Morphin. That was the transition to with Lord Zed and kicked Rita in the cookie jar or whatever.
Zords,
yeah, and they got the Thunder Zords. Yeah, their Zords they weren't really destroyed. They were put out of commission by the fish monster that he summoned, but then
and repurposed into the Thunder Zords. Like,
yeah, like
you had to
they
call
were.
upon them, they'd transform into the Thunder Zords.
Well, you see, that's what's weird is that so the Zords were actually destroyed more than once in the show, where they're going down in that fire and they're like our Zords, they have the Zords going in the
Yeah.
fire. They did that with the Green Ranger saga as well when they got
They
destroyed.
also did that with the giant head thing that came in and tormented the city. There was also like a white white Zord that Goldar piloted that he was able to destroy.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's that. He had Serpentera also.
Right. Yeah.
Serpentera was kind of like
Pretty
like,
cool. Just didn't
yeah.
do anything.
I liked the scale when they went to that one planet to get the sword of happiness or whatever. They have the Thunder Zord go up against Serpentera, and it's like this little flea
Yep.
up against this big dragon. It's like,
Shuttle
okay.
Zord helped him with it.
yes, that was pretty funny. But I don't know. I think we covered Mighty Morphin pretty well enough. I mean, I don't know. There's not much to talk about after a while with it.
Other than the fact that the show held on to those original costumes as long as they could, and then didn't change them until Zeo.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of commend them for it though, because they kept they made it their own unique story, which I do appreciate.
They had to, yeah. That was nice. They did miss a huge opportunity because the Gosi Sentai, which is the Thunder Zord one, is like one of the best Sentais that they've ever made. At least the ones that I've seen. Costumes are all cooler.
How'd you pronounce that? How do you spell it? I don't know.
It's Gosei. It's Gosi Sentai.
Die Ranger.
Yeah, Dia Ranger. DIA.
Oh, okay, good. I just typed Go CSI and it showed me the stupid head from the Megaforce things. And I'm like, what?
White Ranger is one of those.
Oh,
yeah.
That group. That group. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, the White Ranger's a kid that transforms into adult, if it doesn't sound familiar. And then you have the 5 normal Rangers, and it's a cool story about like a long lost evil that's come back, and there's a couple of Star Wars references throughout the series thematically, and
who's their villain in that one, or like what's their villain like?
Let's see. Well, the villain is weird because there's this like big fat Asian guy with like white doll makeup.
What?
There's a Black Knight character who's one of the henchmen. There's a lot of like generals that are in tight leather with face masks, like S&M type of stuff.
Oh, wow.
What?
Yeah.
Villains. Okay, well, okay, I gotta see this. Oh shit, you're right. Oh my god, what the hell?
And then the goons that they fight are in black leotards with white doll masks and red lipstick, I think, on them.
I'm looking at this now. Oh my god, what the fuck?
I highly recommend watching the show. Get the subtitles on it and just chill out, and just have a great time watching.
Jesus Christ!
Dire Ranger.
All the Sentai and Kamen Rider to watch.
Oh my god. Is that Master Orc? The design looks similar to Master Orc on one of these guys, the Asian dude. One of these Asian dudes.
Oh yeah, there's the guy that teaches the Rangers is this normal dude who's in like a maroon gi, and he like meditates in a basement.
Oh my god, this would have been hilarious adapted to English.
It would be, absolutely, yes. They missed a huge opportunity with it.
They could do it right now. Fuck it, that'd be funny.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that'd be so funny. I want to see them try to make sense of this in America. Like
Die Ranger, anyway, when they transform to them in Megaforce, Super Megaforce, they like transform into them, and they're like, "Oh, these are just Rangers from another world." They don't even like explain why. Like one of them looks like Tommy, and the rest are just different.
Well, the other part too is they make the Yellow Ranger and Dire Ranger a girl, so they give her a skirt in the Megaforce one. I remember seeing a couple clips for that.
Yep.
But yeah, like the Yellow Ranger's well, just like in the original Mighty Morphin, the Yellow Ranger's a boy, and they just get a girl to play the role in the American.
It's funny how these things get made. It's astonishing. I do plan on watching a lot of the Sentai shows. I was able to get some links thanks to a buddy. Wink, wink. Able to watch some of this stuff, and I plan on watching them at some point. It's I'm looking forward to it because I haven't watched any of the Sentai ones at all. But like with Dragon Ball, with Dragon Ball Super, they were only releasing them in Japan for a while when it was first running, and it's like with Crunchyroll, if you have it, you can just watch that version. It goes up the next day. Basically, it's not translated into English, so it's the sub version. And it was weird. It was a weird adjustment growing up watching the dub versions. And going to those because in this it's like I am the hope of the universe. It's Goku, and then in the Japanese ones it's like it like sounds totally different because it's I forget the name of the woman, but yeah, she some woman voices Goku and stuff, so it's like totally different sounds. But yeah, that's funny. So I'm looking forward to stuff like that in the Sentai. I did. There's random clips from Sentai that get on my YouTube feed now, and I'll click on some of them because I'm like, what the fuck is this? And there's some weird one where it's like this chick is like a villain, and she's fighting one of the Blue Rangers of one of the seasons. I have no idea which, and she keeps on transforming. She like transforms into a schoolgirl to fight him, transforms into a nurse to fight him, transforms into whatever you name it.
The parody one?
The what?
Is that the parody ranger that we were talking about the one day that we were telling you about?
No, I don't think so. This was a weird. It looked like it was just an average episode of whatever Sentai season it is, and this chick just had the ability to just transform into these sexy outfits, basically. It's like what? And she like would have.
She didn't have like a lipstick head, did she? As like her monster form?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't remember the monster form, but she hardly was.
One of the bad Kamen Rider Kiva, one of the bad guys, gets the human Kamen Rider powers, and like basically uses it and morphs with it. And this female like tries to pretend that she likes him, because the monster actually is infatuated with her like through most of the show. And like she gets close, he demorphs, and then she just kicks him right in the nuts. Like they would never get away with anything like that over here, like doing any of that stuff.
That'd be hilarious.
Oh yeah, there's some the kid in Go See Sentai Die Ranger. That's the White Ranger. He's a pervert. He grabs and tries to get peeks at all the girls he sees.
See, that would make sense though. You're a little kid. You can pretend you're an adult while you're in this super form. Like go to the bar.
Well, he doesn't do it while he's an adult. He does it while he's an actual kid.
It's even better. I'm imagining Short Round looking up skirts or something like that.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Hi, lady.
And like groping, like the kid does that too. He just tortures the Pink Ranger, and she like just starts hitting him and yelling at him. And
that's funny.
I gotta see. Oh my god.
You definitely have to see that one, and also O Ranger, which is the Zeo adaptation or Zeo original. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
That one's a little darker, but it's pretty cool.
You guys gotta tell me. You guys gotta tell me which ones I need to skip because I'm sure there's some seasons because there's like 50 or 60 seasons. Like
it's close to 50.
There's some that are probably like
Yeah, it should be pushing 50 right now, and each season of Sentai is about 50 episodes usually.
Oh, Jesus, I thought it was like 30.
No, they're full like once a week.
And they have like their movies too that like they're in, and then they have like crossover.
They have a couple of crossover films too with some other Sentai.
Yep. Like Gokaiger does a thing where they literally turn into all the Kamen Riders, and like they have a Kamen Rider and Gokaiger.
It's kind of like the Beetleborg episode too.
Yeah,
that they did, or with the Machine Empire, the Forever Red, and whatnot. Man, how many monster costumes from beginning to end do you think have been made on just the Super Sentai alone?
Oh, tons. Isn't there like a museum over there too that has like all the different suits and rider outfits and all that stuff? I remember
Got
correctly.
at least like 2,500. I mean, at least.
Would not be surprised. I would not be surprised. But these are good conversations. I love it. But we're talking about the movie, so let's go over to Turbo, a Power Rangers movie. I think I have a good transition for us right here.
This is awesome. Desert Thunder, ready to rumble.
Wind Chaser, ready to howl. Dune Stars, gonna shine.
Red Lightning, ready to bolt.
It's like, I love the theme song, but it does not match what they're doing.
They're just driving. Yeah.
When I was a kid, I thought that was so cool. It's like, it's like,
They're in giant cars.
Yeah.
like
It's like-
giant cars.
they're hardly giant. They're just slightly bigger than normal. Like,
Oh, look at them like in the inside. Like that. The entire interior is huge.
yeah, but I mean, like when they're like in the season finale when they have Mountain Blaster and Turbo Thunder or whatever help. They're like just normal sized cars.
Yep.
Yep.
Man, that show I loved, or the movie. I loved the theme song. Really, I liked the
Oh, John Watchman's
Turbo
has a bunch of catchy ones.
Yeah, a lot of them were really good, and that was good for a movie. That's the one thing in Mighty Morphin. There wasn't like an original theme that went with it. It was just normal music.
Yeah.
So the music was fine in the Mighty Morphin one, but I mean, this had like memorable music in it, which I did like.
Yeah.
But the most thing we all remember from Turbo is this.
Wow, cool. Justin, what are you doing here? Rocky couldn't make it, so he sent me.
What are you talking about?
Guys, I'm the new Blue Ranger. Isn't that cool or what?
What?
Man, I was afraid I wasn't gonna make it. Alpha had to give me a crash course in driving. Good thing you don't need a license to drive a Zord.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Just be like, I quit. I'm done.
Well, I don't know if you guys want to start or not, but I just listening to that
They
scene.
drive to a boat and take it to an island.
Yeah.
Well, it's not even that. Like, okay, let's address the whole thing here. So Rocky is injured, so they're down a ranger, and so they send the 4 rangers to go to the boat so that they can cross through the water vortex or something in the water, but they need all 5 keys to do it, is what they state later when they're on the boat. They need all 5 to do the keys to, cross over. So that's kind of weird. They leave, and I think Justin arrives at the command center like right after them, pretty much. And then within that time, after they left, and they're going turbo fast, Zordon makes Justin a ranger. Alpha somehow gives him a crash course in driving in like a 5-minute lesson or less. And then when they arrive at the pier, like less than a minute later, Justin arrives.
They should have noticed him in the rear view if they were actually checking their mirrors.
It's as
you can
if
tell
he was
these
right
teenagers
behind-
are not very good drivers.
It's as if he was right behind them, like as if they just left a minute ahead and that's it. I don't know. There's so much wrong with that, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Like
He's like super buff now too. It's weird.
the kid.
Yeah.
See, if they made him a ranger now, maybe they could somehow make sense, like redeem the fact that he was a stupid kid ranger. Be like, yeah, I was a kid. I was a ranger when I was a kid. I could be one now,
Technically, they were all supposed to be rangers when they were a kid, but they hired 20-year-olds to play high school students, like freshman high school students.
Right. But I mean, I guess, high age teenagers, practically adults, I guess. I don't know. It's
I think the Jason Austin St. John was the only one who was actually like 18 when he was hired, and everybody else was like in their early 20s.
Oh, wow.
well, it makes sense. Imagine if we had actual kids being the Rangers, though. I mean, who would buy it? Who would want to care? As a kid,
as long as you can't tell that they're in the costumes, I think you're okay.
Well, no, I mean, because like the first thing I ever saw was the Green with Evil saga of Power Rangers, and it's like a lot of that started with Jason and Tommy as their human selves, and it's like if those were kids, Like I'd be like, what is the show?
Even like with Mighty Morphin, when they turned into the kids, that was like super annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and it's like you take the actors out of the screen, and it's like, oh, fuck, those guys were pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, as far as like their character, if they lost the powers, that'd make sense. You didn't have to turn them to kids to make them lose their powers, but
no, but the actors wanted some time off and more money, so they rewrote the story to hire kids.
I suppose.
Oh yeah, like all the weird stuff that happens in the Power Rangers shows is usually with regards to actor dispute and budget issues. Like even the actor who played Billy, when he grows old, like that's just because he quit.
Yeah.
So yeah, like it's a nightmare show. Behind the scenes.
But I mean, they at least made him leave within the realms of his character and story.
They gave him a happy ending, yeah.
Yeah.
He left he's banging an alien chick on another planet, helping them protect their planet.
Like a wind
That's got a fountain of youth, so he's like immortal too. So
yeah, which disappoints me that he's not in future stuff. Like
it also disappoints me that he spent all that time getting great grades in school and didn't actually need to use them.
Yeah, dude, what a waste of time.
Yeah.
But I don't know. So Turbo, I like the way Turbo starts actually, because it starts. If you guys remember, it's like it starts on an alien planet, an alien forest planet, and you actually see like glimpses of Larigo, the wizard, move around, but you don't really see him very well. But you get little close-ups of the armor of the Bronatrons or captains that were supposed to be them but weren't. I have no idea exactly why they're there like that, but they do close up on the crossbow. It's like, gotcha. And, then they end up chasing this little wizard thing. It's like a weird little small bear or something. I don't know. And you get these dudes on horseback trying to follow them and their armor and whatnot. They seem competent-ish at the beginning, and they never are ever again. But that's a decent start. And then, you go to the gang, doing some martial arts on a kickboxing area or something, and you see Rocky fail miserably a lot, which is funny.
Just using that power weird because he's supposed to be kicking a dude's hand, and he somehow overshoots it and flies over the.
For those who don't know, I must show.
Adam, get in there! All right, get in there! Rocky, spinning heel, kick my hand.
Maybe we are trying too hard. Maybe we're not trying hard enough.
Standing still, and I'm going to launch myself out of the arena. I love that. That's one of the best parts of the movie, you guys.
But yeah, it's utterly ridiculous.
Yeah, it is ridiculous.
And those two, Tommy and Adam, still managed to win the tournament without Rocky's help.
Yeah, I guess.
At the end of the movie.
Just didn't need him.
No, wait, Jason comes back, right? Yes, this is the one where Jason and Kimberly return.
Oh, yeah, you're right, actually. You're right. Oh, that is Jason at the end, I guess.
Yeah, Jason comes in and he helps win the tournament because Rocky sucks.
They end it so abruptly, I don't remember that. I don't remember Jason being there for the tournament. I knew Jason was there.
They're randomly snorkeling, and then they show up.
No, he's hooking up with Kimberly. That's why.
Which was also weird because they never had that bond.
No,
they didn't have any chemistry or anything like that.
No, it was just like, hey, Kimberly, you're a teammate, right? Okay, that's it. Did you get your homework done?
Let me show you all the things I learned while being part of the Peace Corps.
Right. Oh God! See, that would have made more sense if it was Jason, Trini, and Zach or something around that time going there. But whatever. I was okay with Kimberly being in there too. That was fun. I liked it when she's evil. When they're both evil. Honestly, when they're both evil. Oh my God, awesome. That was great. He's mine. She's like, evil does. Just like. It's great. You know that they took all shits and just threw it away. They're just like, we're just gonna act here and have fun because this is our last time we're doing anything ever. So It's great, but no, I mean, the way that the story progressed was okay. Largo has to escape to Earth, and then try and escape from the evil Divatox, whom also was not too scantily clad, but a little bit, just a little bit more revealing than most, especially in the cleavage area.
Oh yeah,
stuff. A little more skin and chest than normal that you would see on the show, and it's nothing like Rita's pointy boob things that came out that are not practical at all. But whatever, those were all right. I don't know. What do you guys think of Turbo? What do you guys think? Just pull out whatever points you want.
The movie was interesting. I really liked those like tech things they had, like when they were on that expedition or whatever in the beginning, and then they jump into the thing. They had like backpacks that had like
the power packs.
Yeah, the power packs. I thought those were pretty cool. But the little gnome guy, he was kind of weird.
The wizard, yeah.
Yeah,
it's like they stripped the parts out of a Teddy Ruxpin and then put a weird suit over him and then kind of set him on automatic.
Yep.
I think it would have made more sense if, again, this was like Drusilla or something. Like you could have even tied it to that stupid movie, like to the movie. They uncanonized. Like,
help save the woman that saved you guys in the world last movie type of thing.
Oh yeah, that would have been interesting.
But it could have been, that was different Rangers or something. It's like, but whatever. This chick's still cool, so whatever. Why not? Why not?
I mean, it's a really simple story. Like rescue the alien, then save his family, and here's some new power so you can do it, and rescue your friends on this island. And like, there's no real challenge or strife or any sort of actual conflict, which is a big part that's kind of been ignored from the Power Ranger franchise, because it's the fight and the spectacle of it that's just so alluring to kids.
Yeah,
I mean, you don't like even the comedy on the side parts between like Bulk and Skull, like that just never hit. I mean, some of the stuff was absolutely like crazy brilliant, but it just it was just would go over a kid's head because they do so much of their really strange childish stuff, where like they're dressing up as a dinosaur to try and expose who the real identity of the Power Rangers are, or something like that.
Or do they dress as their own Power Rangers to try to impress women?
Yep, and then they had like the Incredible Bulk and Super Skull, like then just dressed up like Batman or Robin.
I forgot about that. That was good.
The Amazing Bulk.
Yeah, the Amazing Bulk and Skull. Yeah.
Oh my god. Well, no, I was referenced a horrible little small movie, The Amazing Bulk, which is like a rip-off Incredible Hulk, and he's like a purple man.
Oh yeah, from that was from Dexter.
What?
The Incredible Bulk or whatever.
Oh, Krunk.
Krunk, that's what it was.
Krunk, the Incredible Krunk. Oh yeah, Dexter's Laboratory. Yeah.
No. This I'm not referencing. No, this was a legitimate. No, you guys don't know what I'm talking about, do you? Holy fuck! I'm sorry. I know something. I know something. You guys, another movie that y'all haven't seen that I have. You guys are totally missing my reference here. Oh my god, it comes up the CGI on this guy.
Oh, jeez, you not knowing what D&D is. Because of this.
I have to pull up a clip. You have to see a clip of this. Oh, Jesus. It's so dumb. Just playing the ad first real quick. Oh, my God. Oh, this was a review of The Amazing Bulk. Let me see. Where's a good shot? Yeah, I hate everything. Did a review on this. A lot of YouTubers did reviews on some shitty movies, and that's how I learned of The Amazing Bulk. Oh, God. Here's the scene. Jesus Christ. His ass is showing. Okay, let's hope this doesn't take the stream down. I noticed that a lot lately with channels. Okay. So.
What in the world?
So, we got The Amazing Bulk.
Oh, God.
Here. Wow.
Over here. And let's see what happens.
You can tell what's gonna be interacted with, because it's like crudely placed in the way that you're drumming. He wasn't even shooting at it. It's just, what the fuck? It's just like completely random.
Well, I can't hit her and kill her.
Yeah, that's.
Oh my!
I don't know what that is.
This is a movie. This is a movie, a ripoff movie, trying to.
Two people in front of a green screen and a whole bunch of animatics.
Yes,
yes, that's what I wanted to see.
Oh my
Oh my god.
Tiny car that was like,
it's just like whoop, 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 whoop,
the
whoop,
same
whoop,
size as her.
That's what I was referencing. They made
Oh,
it
it's like
full.
Plan 9 of the late 90s, early 21st century.
Yeah, how do I always know of these movies that you guys know that's so bad?
Oh, that's got to be such a micro budget, just flies under the radar of everything.
Oh, but everybody knows about it. What the hell are you talking about? Like, okay, it's people knew about it. Like, you guys know of Food Fight, right?
Yeah.
Food Fight, I think, yeah.
Okay, this is like that tier-ish, same type of thing, but with less famous people. It's such a horrible thing. So it's on similar levels to that. But sorry to derail it from there. But wow, I just you guys were totally saying things at Dexter's lab. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
not at all.
Incredible Ground or whatever.
No.
And Van Halen and what is the other
Major
dude?
Glory.
Yeah, Major Glory. Yeah.
But anyway, so back to Turbo. Yeah, like again, there's not that much to talk about with it as far as the actual plot goes. So you pretty much summed it up. Like little wizard thing comes to Earth, they have to protect it. They, need to get some new powers to cross over into this island because she's trying to awaken her husband or her future lover. I don't know what the hell she's calling
there's
him.
some like lava demon that she's going to use the kid, the wife and child as a sacrifice to wake them.
Oh no!
It's Jason and Kimberly.
Jason and Kimberly would be the sacrifices. Yeah, to him, and that was Malagar was the name of the lava creature at the moment. Was Malagar before they reused the same thing to become Dark Spectre later?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, they're still in that costume. So.
Yes. I don't know. So, what do you guys think of the switch from Zeo to Turbo with this? That's the one thing that I didn't like. It's like there's no closure with it. It's just here's Turbo now, and it's
like they didn't lose their Zeo powers. And I remember when they were introduced, they said that the crystal would allow them to become more powerful exponentially forever. In which case, I'm like, there's no more new versions of Power Rangers.
They had a lot of cool Zords. They had plenty of things there. I don't know, just at their disposal. They didn't need to. It was weird how she couldn't morph when she was in the water.
She tried to morph, and then it started, and then it just vanished when she hit water.
Like in Ninja, so many other versions where they morph in the water. Like there's actually an episode where they morph in the water in Mighty Morphin. Like. They literally jump in the water, they're swimming, and then they just like kind of morph underwater and pop out in their ninja costumes.
Okay.
When they do that, so I don't know. It's like that's a minor. I'm saying that's a minor thing. What was that?
Did they explain in the Turbo movie why she demorphed? Didn't they cut them off from their good? Oh, okay, maybe not.
They never mentioned why or how that happened. They just show that she's trying to morph as she's falling, and then it only halfway, and it's there's some electricity dispersing, so you assume it's because she hit water, so it don't work no more. But it's like,
or she got injured mid morph, which is always funny because it's like they take so long to do their posing before they actually morph, and the bad guys never just take out a gun and just cap right then and there.
Which is funny because in Dragon Ball Super, they actually make and the people who make the stuff in Dragon Ball love Super Sentai and other like Asian inspired shows and stuff. All the transforming magical girls and whatever, all these things. So they make funny references all the time to them, and they have they had the Universal Tournament, and there's these different universes all going to fight each other in a tournament, and one of them is a magical girl one entirely, and they're doing their they transform, they go down to their arm, go to their leg, go to their to transform and all the things, and one of our guys Vegeta just blasts, it was an Android 17, he just blasts them mid transformation and like, what are you doing? And one of the Super Sentai style ones goes over there, you should show them some respect, that is ridiculous, the warrior's trying to transform, you must wait until they're done. Just like, but they're open to attack, like
before, so they always strike the pose before they do anything.
Yeah, which was pretty funny, and like they make fun of like the poses that a lot of them do. They'd be like, "I am Niching Chuma," and then they do the whole, smoke behind them and the explosion and stuff.
Because if I was like a ranger under Zordon's thing and be like, so go over here and fight them, it's like, I'm Morphin now, and then I'm walking. Like I'm not waiting for all that.
I think that's why I like Kiva so much, because when he morphs, which is Kamen Rider, he morphs, his bat just flies over, he puts his hand out, it bites his thing, and then he puts it on his belt, and he's just morphed. He's like just walking like he's a badass, and just like morphs, and just like whatever.
Well, it's like, you think that when Catherine morphs when she's falling, that it would just take her to the Morphin transition, where it just does the automatic. I
think it was trying to do that, and then she broke her leg.
Well, no. This is my point. That usually time stops whenever they morph, because nothing else happens until they're done. So she should have technically been able to morph.
There is an instance where the morph is instant. I think there's an episode where Adam like does a somersault and then he morphs and he jumps human and then morphs and then lands.
Yeah, there's a couple of seasons where they just like run and they morph, like, and they're still going.
There's actually quite a few episodes in different seasons that they make the transformations all the time, but then there'll be some where they just go, like even in Time Force, he's like Time Force, and then they just turn right there. There's no cut to him doing it. It's just comes right there.
Yeah.
That's not an inconsistency, really. It's just weird. There's no defining rules on does time stop when they morph or not, because everybody's waiting. We're going to defeat you while you're weakened. No, you won't. Ready. Like they all get in position.
Especially with the Morpher Turbo, where it's like they have the key. And
they literally go.
And they're like, yeah. I used to know how to do it. I can't remember how to do it though.
That's like crazy dexterity too. And what if you just missed? Do you have to like do the whole thing all over again, or do you just have to like keep on jamming it in to try to get into the hole?
Like I swear they go jab, or jab like that. Yeah, it's like this. Or something. And, I don't know.
Mighty Morphin one too, to where it's like this, and then
you gotta turn it,
and then you go like this and turn, and then it opens.
But that's what's weird too, because they never really would show them using the morpher that way in the show, because they just go, it's morphin time, and then up to the stand footage of them doing that. So.
And they never like flooded the engine on their morpher or ever stalled it, or like they're trying to. Like that would just be funny. Like they're just revving the engine and they just can't get the connection.
You get no torque enough. It's not. Sorry, the internet's down. The morphing grid's down. What? It's 5 o'clock. You gotta wait. That'd be kind of funny. But I don't know. Yeah, I wish that there was some type of transition between the end of the Zeos or something that neutralizes its power, so they have to get something else. But Zordon even states in it, he's like, "Hey, just use these new turbo things with turbo technology. They're stronger than any Zord ever before." And it's just like,
I don't know. Those Zeo costumes and stuff were pretty cool.
Yeah, I like Zeo too. Zeo is one of my favorites.
Go ahead.
Just for the theme, I really like Zeo because it's very 70s feeling as far as like the intro, minus the Go-Go Power Rangers part, which you get past towards the Zordon era.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. It just would have been more satisfactory too. And I mean, technically, the Machine Empire wasn't even destroyed. Like they were just the kind
of vanished.
No, Rita and Zed blew them up. Actually, they after their final battle in the one with the Zords, like he blew it. He grew up really big, and so did the rest of his family or something. And they all got beaten, and then they end up on the moon. And then they run into Rita and them, and they're like, "Hey, let's have a truce." And then like, "Okay," they give them a present, and then run away, and they blow them up. And that was it. That was it. And it kind of implies that Rita and Zed are going to come back in business.
They never do. They just retire.
They just stop. And the Machine Empire, they're still their whole empire. Like they implied there's other people in the family that could run it technically.
They had other planets under their rule too. It's like,
so I'm like, so it just stops here. That's kind of weird.
Still on the moon, like at that point, because like at the end of Space, they're on the moon, and that's when they turn to human and all that stuff. So I didn't know they were on the moon because they were fighting the alien rangers, or were they fighting Triforian? Maybe.
I forget who they were fighting, but I don't know. I don't know, but I don't know where I'm transitioning to with this.
Well, I mean, we were talking about like the first two Power Rangers films, which don't really have much of a plot or character development, so it's really hard to discuss what these movies are.
Things that are in it, I'm trying to get a hold of in my head, and it's like
I remember like the weird turtle monster things on the ship, the ghost ship,
the Ninja Turtle goons type of things, the gooey ones.
Yeah.
I thought those were an okay addition, but they weren't threatening because they all beat them in their unmorphed form. So it was like, oh, they're not that threatening. They seemed heavy, so you'd think that they would need to morph to fight them, but no. And the Bronnetrons weren't really a good improvement either. And they're more boring. They're more boring than the putties. At least putties, you can go and kind of copy them.
The Bronnetrons just had jet skis, and that was it.
Well, it's like
a general guy too.
Yeah, Eldar. I kind of liked him though. He's like, "Yeah, you guys are bang, you mean, get over here." Goofy villain. That was okay, but I don't know. God, what else is there to comment on this? I liked the final fight kind of, and they had their Zord sucks, but it was an okay fight, I guess. I don't like how they won so easily against the Malagar.
Well, that's Power Rangers for you, though.
Like, oh, they just kind of won real quick. See, that would have been fine if they used their Zeo powers or something on Malagar and then they lost, and it's like, oh shit, have something like that. Be more toward the beginning, and just have it be like, okay, you all of a sudden have this newer villain.
Malagar stole the Zeo crystal and was using that to come back.
Yeah, or something. And if I think of the threat of like, okay, you've got the remnants of the Machine Empire, Rita and Zed, let's say they're controlling the Machine Empire. And then you have this new villain, Divatox and her army, and this Malagar dude. Fuck, what are you going to do? Like, that would be a good kickoff for the show.
Yeah, like, how do you get your bearings on all those threats coming after the Earth?
Right, see, that would be dire. And then when they bring in Demetra later, at the beginning of Turbo, like, maybe she brings some type of help and you can have a different Ranger team around sometimes. Like, they can use other footage from other things to introduce, even if they're not on screen together. That'd be a different take to do something. But, I don't know. Again, I guess they're limited to what they have footage-wise. So, can't force them to make something better.
Only that you introduce, the more muddy the story will usually get, because you have to give each villain enough time to establish their threat and their goal, and then you have to dedicate time for your protagonist to stop that.
Right, but I mean, they don't really do that anyway. Like, they do it sort of in the movie. In the movie is almost the only time they do. Like, she wants to free Malagar. That's it.
And Miriam, because she's lonely.
and then later,
getting up there in age, and she wants a family, and so she's going after an ex-con, so to speak, or a prisoner.
See, what if she had something with Zordon? That would have been interesting, like an old fling. Some type of character.
Maybe she's upset that he got himself caught in a time vortex, and now she wants her revenge.
But okay, so this kind of confuses me then, because at the beginning of the Turbo season, they just pretty much have the wizard send Zordon back to his own home planet.
Yeah, the wizard can somehow release him from his time tube. Or time dimension.
They can shift him to a different time tube, basically.
Yeah.
Is what you mean, right?
Because he's forever trapped there.
But it's like they make it seem like, so you can be in your time dimension that you're in, and the only way you can interact with Earth is like, or with this universe anyway, this dimension, our dimension is like, there's only a few devices that can hold you, and that's it. That's my impression that I got out of it. So it's not just that he's trapped in his own time thing. It's that there's only a couple of them around, that of which you can use. And that's why he can go to his home planet, because they have one for some reason there as well, like an empty one. Like, I guess
someone built it. Like they take a long time to build. And
then Demetra, though, she comes and replaces him in the tube.
Oh yeah,
she's up there. She just is. She's also a warrior. I don't. What? That actually gets more.
She's a better mentor, because she tries to get the Power Rangers to think on their own of how to beat the bad guy. Like, she just doesn't just tell them. She's like, "Oh, why do you think they're doing this? I don't know. Tell me." No, you got to figure this out, kid. You're you're about to go for college and you can't solve a problem.
Yeah, it would have been better if he just left and was like, Rangers, good luck on Earth. Later. Later.
I'm retired now. After doing this for 10,000 years, I'm taking a break.
or hell, if we didn't know why he left, it's like he just left and it's like, oh shit. And then, if they want to find out, you got to leave Earth, but they can't right now. So that's a back burner until the end of the season.
Just make him kidnapped, like the story of Power Rangers in space.
That's kind of what I mean. Like
that would happen.
My point being, it would happen earlier, and then they end up getting destroyed. And by that point, they're like, "Well, okay, we have nothing left here, so let's go look for Zordon now. Tell them that we're fucked." So that's about it. I don't know what else to say about Turbo, really.
Doesn't Turbo lead into Zordon getting captured? And then
we're in space now. In space, it's its own conversation.
Divatox ends up destroying everything, I guess.
Yeah.
The Eldar ends up finding Elgar, whatever his name is, finding command center, and then they just send a humongous army of their Bronnetrons after them. But that's only after she hired some intergalactic demon guy to destroy the Zords, and then he gets destroyed by them with TJ's car or something with his not his main
team of Rangers,
not his main car, but his second car.
Yeah,
go-kart. I don't know. It blows them up or something, and then they all get attacked at their base, and then their few little cars they have get captured too. I guess Mountain Blaster and Turbo Thunder get literally trapped in a net. And then they end up breaking through the command center, and there's actually a couple moments in this final battle that I liked when they come inside after their first run of the Bronnetrons. Zordon or Justin's talking to Carlos, and Carlos is like, "Hey, you scared?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah, I am too." Like, fuck. Like, I kind of like that. It's like, there's a little bit of doubt for once. Like, thank you. You guys think you might be destroyed, but then they again kind of quickly move along to, we gotta hold them off. And it's like, can you guys like settle in the fact that you're about to get your asses killed or something for a moment, please? And then they just stand up. They're all fine when it all blows up, but they're at least, you got some dirt on their face. That's good. Some torn clothes. That's new. That's fine.
Yep.
And like that, and then they go to space. I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, let's leave Earth finally. And then they start that whole show. I feel like in space,
or the space surfboards, and then
what do they say to get them? They have to say Galaxy Gliders, hang 10. That's what they have to say to get.
Yeah, that's okay. It is that. Which is weird. Like Zordon builds like a space shuttle and just keeps it aside for them to use, and they get on it effortlessly. It's like, you're the Power Rangers? Yeah, we got this thing over here from a giant floating head. So yeah, you can go leave Earth now.
And it's at NASA.
Yep.
Which is there.
Don't they use that in Lost Galaxy a little bit to get around, but they don't use the actual Zord?
Yeah, that actually kind of bugged me. I'm like, you guys know you have a Zord, and they use the mega ship. I'm like, you guys know you have other Zords at your disposal here.
Yeah, I know, right?
Well, whatever. It's the footage thing, probably. They can't, intermingle them in the stuff enough.
It's hard to splice that type of stuff. Yeah, especially in the mid to late '90s. It'd be very expensive, and Haim Saban does not like to spend money.
No. I bet they would have if they could have. I suppose.
Some people there would have. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but I think I don't have much more to say about it. If you guys want to touch on any last things with Turbo, floor is yours, because I don't know.
No, for a movie called Turbo, it's pretty dull.
It is.
Again, I love the theme song. That's about it. I liked it. I liked the movie, but God, there's so many things they could have just done better. But whatever. So going on to the actual movie from 2017,
the Lionsgate film. Yeah.
Lionsgate. What do you guys think of that? Just initial thoughts, I guess, when it was coming out, and what you thought of when you saw it.
I was super excited when it came out. I enjoyed it when I seen it. There were certain things that I didn't like about it when I first saw it, but then on repeat viewings, this stuff sticks out like a sore thumb that I didn't care for. But
what about you, Doc?
I was pretty disappointed immediately when I heard about it because I'd already written a script that I was trying to pitch around at the time for the Power Rangers.
Right.
And yeah, apparently like a low tier rep at Lionsgate read it, and a whole bunch of other writers were sending in their own takes on the story. And they went with like one of the worst scripts that was circulating around.
Maybe they picked it up on accident. Maybe they were they're trying to go for yours, but accidentally grabbed the wrong one.
Oh, you don't accidentally grab a wrong script.
Yeah.
They're like, he's just like, shoo, and when he's grabbing for yours, but moved his hand to the right, and then just picked
They'd
up the
be
wrong,
reading it. They get 10 pages
one.
and be like, "What is this garbage?" No.
They thought, no, this is good. We like it. Yeah, do it. Make it. Greenlit.
I mean, it's the only Power Rangers movie that kind of has an understandable plot, which is Rita Repulsa is trying to get the Zeo crystal that's buried underneath a Krispy Kreme. And to do that, she has to steal gold to create her Goldar monster to, I guess, dig it up somehow.
No, I'm sorry, Turbo made more sense. She wanted to get Malagar free, so she needed the wizard's key to get there.
Well, she wanted to get married, so it was less threatening to the world than just...
Right, but I mean, if as far as plot, that makes sense, I guess. Like, not to make sense, but understanding
for
the
the villain's plot, yeah, that one... Yeah, that one's a pretty simple one to follow. One of the movies a little more complicated, but it has a lot of sidetrack things. They have a very contrived obstacle for the kids can't morph. They have to like work as a team in order to morph or something.
They have to feel.
They gotta stand.
They have to feel an actual bond with each other. In fact, when I did my Power Rangers review of it, 2017-ish or 28, I think I did it in 2018, but I made a little skit about it, and oh my god, like I did a Zordon voice for it, and it's just like, I'm like, so how do I morph? How do I use this thing? And he like describes it in like a huge paragraph. So it's like, I'm trying to find that.
Brian Cranston used to do voices on old Power Rangers show.
Oh, nice. I know Bryan Cranston did a bunch of voices for monsters and stuff, and that's one of the reasons why they got him for Zordon.
Yeah, what'd you think of Zordon in the movie?
I didn't mind it.
It's all right, I guess. He's a wall instead of a tube. So.
Yeah, I don't know. So it starts with them being on, dinosaur-ish Earth, apocalyptic Earth, I guess. I don't know if it's like the end of the dinosaurs is when they arrive and when they're fighting Rita as the Rangers, Zordon and them, which I kind of thought they were going to be the alien Rangers, like the different set of Rangers or something.
Yeah.
But no, they're just they are aliens, but they are the regular Rangers. But I don't know why they'd have the powers. It kind of had the impression that the look of the morphs was still the dinosaur ones before the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Dinosaur.
See, this is how I know that they read my script, because I started it off similarly, but Zordon wasn't a Power Ranger. He was just a traveler. He was a guy he's an interdimensional being, so he can travel from planet to planet very quickly. And the story that I start out with is that the original 5 Rangers think the Green Ranger's been kidnapped and been taken to Earth because Rita's going to use what's called a forge to unlock the planet's core and use that power to help take over her father's empire that the Rangers just recently destroyed. So her dad's been defeated, and things are looking good for the galaxy, and the Rangers are just now kind of cleaning up by going after Rita. And when they get there, they discover that the Green Ranger betrayed the Power Rangers and is actually working with her, and it's a big, big fight. And what ends up happening is that Zordon and Rita fight, and he ends up putting a curse on her, but she puts a curse on him, so he gets zapped in between his dimensional travel dimension thing, and Rita gets put into a canister and then hurled onto an asteroid, sent to go wander space forever. And then the 5 remaining Rangers, because the green one dies and Rita takes their coin before she's taken away, the 5 remaining Rangers leave copies of their coins behind on Earth to protect it, because they Zordon is trapped there, and Alpha 5 decides to build a transmitter tube for him and then protect the coins and protect the planet until evil comes again, and then the 5 Rangers go back to their part of the galaxy where they'll protect it forever. So you have these cloned coins. And then what ends up happening is 10,000 years later, Billy's dad, who's an astronaut, discovers the space canister, accidentally opens it up, freeing Rita. He's now hostage, as are the humans, and Rita's taking over the planet. And Zordon uses the coins to find 5 new Rangers, and the coins pick the Rangers, kind of like the Green Lantern ring.
Okay.
And,
that'd be interesting.
Yeah, so it doesn't say that they have to be teenagers. Just says give me the 5 chosen that the coins choose.
It didn't say 5 emotional, overbearing humans.
No, I don't have that. But I did make a joke where Alpha's like, they're all teenagers. This is not going to be easy. So they get their coins. They're told what they're going to do, and Jason's the only one that wants to do it because I made him a kid of a teen pregnancy. So he's a 16-year-old kid who finds out his parents are 30 and that he's an accident. He doesn't feel like he's supposed to exist. He's got a lot of depression, and he feels like he's not meant to be here. And then all of a sudden he gets chosen by this magical power to sort of validate his existence and come to terms with the fact that he wasn't an inconvenience as he thought he was. Like, his parents never treat him like he's an inconvenience or anything. They've got their shit together by this time at their lives, but it was a struggle to get there. But he feels like he was an unnecessary burden, and is regretful of that. So that's his arc, is that he realizes that he has meaning, and just because he's an accident kid, he may have been an accident. His parents said, no, we're going to have you. And it wasn't anything to do with any of that political crap. It was just, his parents actually loved each other, and they decided to go with that because that's, the choice of the kids. And he does that. I also make him, he has a huge crush on Trini, who is being fast tracked through high school by her parents. So she's going to be going to college, by the end of the year. And she's only 16 years old, and she doesn't want to because she's not physically ready. Billy is the sufferer of bullies. Bulk and Skull are bullying him, and they used to be friends in grade school before high school happened. Kimberly's parents are having a divorce, and she decides to take advantage of both their parents by pitting them against each other for her own financial and rewards. So her dad buys her a car if she'll, say something bad to her, to the judge about her mom and stuff. And then Zach wants to quit the football team and go into the arts program, but his dad's an ESPN news commentator, an ex-football star, and he doesn't want his kid doing that. So those are all their issues that they're dealing with in high school. And the story just falls they get their powers, and they start pushing back against Rita's stuff, and then that's when Rita brings in her generals, and they're just not strong enough to do that. And so Zordon's like, you got to go to the Island of Despair, where the Rangers left forged weapons for you in case of this event, but only a true Ranger can get the weapons, so they have to go through these trials, and the generals follow them into the island, and then they got to fight them off, get the weapons, and then the weapons unlock the Zords, and then they have their big climactic fight, and they destroy the forge and cast Rita aside, and then Rita then decides, well, if they have one Ranger, I can grab my own, and then that's the end of that script, where she reveals the original Green Ranger power coin. And that was basically the plot structure.
The movie that could have been.
The movie that could have been.
I wonder if you would have included as much.
Where? What does that mean? What's it called?
It's a Krispy Kreme.
Krispy Kreme. This is a special place.
Very special.
It must be.
That never came across at all. The only thing I did was I made a reason why Earth is important. So you just I said that Earth is a nexus planet, so it's a planet that can create life on its own, and that's very, very powerful, and it's very, very rare. And the more nexus planets you can conquer and rob of their energy, the more powerful you can become. And so the nexus also feeds the Morphin grid to allow it to be protected, but Rita wants to corrupt it because that's how her father did it, to take over the galaxy, and the Rangers managed to, liberate one planet, create their power, and then, free the galaxy over many thousands of years through many generations, and eventually we get to this point here. So that's what the stakes are. And so the idea was, your first movie's the 5, your second movie's your Green with the evil series done in one film. Then your third one's Lord Zed comes in, and then they all six of them have to kind of work together and fend him off, and that would be your trilogy. There wouldn't be any changing of powers or new Zords or stuff. It'd just be new enemies and new ways to work together.
That would be cool.
Yeah, I thought that would have been cool. And a couple other people did, but not enough with money or clout to.
Corrupting of the Morphin grid kind of reminds me of Beast Morphers a little bit, because they're doing all of this Morphex stuff, which is basically tapping into the Morphin grid to power everything on Earth.
Yeah, and that can be.
And the evil guys are basically trying to corrupt. They're like a virus, basically trying to corrupt everything.
Yeah. Oh, that's not bad. Yeah, I haven't seen any of the stuff after the Pirate anniversary.
The Super Mega Force, terrible.
Yeah, because I was in LA when it was premiering, and
so bad.
one of my because I was at an Airbnb with a whole bunch of other writers, and one of them was a lot younger than all of us, and he was still watching the Power Rangers stuff. So we're like, let's see what's happened over the last 20 years since I've last seen it.
Oh no!
And it's crazy. It's crazy. They're in a cave and they're talking to a wall, a face on a wall, which is
action figures.
And a solar powered on wheel Johnny Number 5 ripoff droid.
Yeah. And then it's basically a ripoff of Zordon.
Yeah, pretty much.
Isn't that his cousin or something?
Cousin or apprentice, or I don't remember, but it was weird. It was very weird.
Activated the Sentai version, and it leaps and bounds above what we got.
It was strange because I think the first few episodes they were angel-based Power Rangers, and then at the end they're pirate-based Power Rangers.
They took two seasons and basically combined of Sentai and combined them into one.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very strange. From what I heard is that this protagonist, this wall guy, was activated only when the Earth was truly in danger. Something if you haven't,
because Zordon was around for a while, the Earth was never truly in danger. With him gone, now the Earth can truly be in danger.
I guess, but there's so many instances where there's other threats. It's okay, so they're all gonna be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, it's after space with Lost Galaxy.
Right.
I thought it was supposed to have destroyed everything, but they thought space was going to be that was going to be it as far as power.
Yeah, they were planning to end it there.
Yeah.
Well, and if anything, they in a way I think they still left enough room for there to be other things happening afterward. Mm-hmm. He said, my spirit will live on forever and everyone and whatever, and so more Rangers.
No, that's the case. But I think because space did so well financially, they're just okay, we'll do another season because it was really popular. That saved Power Rangers after Turbo.
Well, and that was a good move going to Galaxy right away. Keep going in space. Hell yeah, go further. I like that. I like that. It still would have been cool if they saw Billy though in space or something. But a little bit.
But that 2017 movie was loads of weird.
I know. In my parody, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I tried to make a little joke with it.
Really? Great. Here, use this to give you power during the review.
Whoa! How does this work?
You must work out your muscles to exhaustion and form a connective bond with all of your friends in order to access the power.
Really? Seriously, I don't have time for that. You kidding me?
Hell no. Just hold it out and be like, it's Morphin time.
Okay. Ready. It's Morphin time!
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I was because in the movie, I couldn't really get what was the thing. They couldn't just form a bond. They had to work out to be friends or something. I don't know. I was like,
none of them knew how to fight, so they had to learn how to fight. They trained against artificial holographic putties.
They still didn't even really learn how to fight though. They just punched and kicked.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't really learn anything. They're just at the thing, and it's no, but you're not learning a move. You're not learning style technique. Is that how a
I
dojo
think
would run?
that's like that suplex thing a lot.
Yeah,
The only thing we saw is Kimberly knows how to dive. Like, geez.
Yeah. I don't know.
Zach was so underdeveloped as a character.
He was my
like,
least favorite.
He's taking care of his mom, but like he's like the loner dude that doesn't go to school, so I don't know what he's doing.
He's just kind of a turd. I don't know.
They did nothing with Trini. Billy was the only one that had an arc of like kind of having friends and then gaining confidence and comfortability because like it was interesting to have him as a character on the spectrum and then sort of find his way to cope with that in this new area.
I mean, kind of, but he's like on the spectrum and gets detention and tries to blow things up and
then dies and comes back. And
I didn't mind the whole them killing him and then him coming back thing. I didn't mind that. I thought that was an interesting thing they did.
I thought that was okay, but
it is. But I know the type of managers, agents, and execs that say you have to kill a character in your movie in order for it to be good, and it's like, like if you're doing it for that reason, where it's like you just want to try and make the movie good and you can't do anything with it, then it doesn't mean much of anything. What they kind of really miss is the fact that they didn't give us any confidence that if Zordon were to like be freed from that wall thing, that he would be 100% able to stop Rita.
Yeah.
Like if they managed to do that, and then he says like, "No, I'm like you guys are going to have to do this, and I will sacrifice myself for the kid too."
Yeah,
they just made Zordon like this crotchety old man that was just pissed off that these guys couldn't do what they needed to do.
Yeah,
well, and it's like he got defeated by Rita.
Yeah,
exactly. The reason he's in this wall is because he was defeated by Rita.
Yeah.
No, he got lucky that an asteroid landed on Earth and knocked her into the sea and froze her or something. Like he didn't even do that on purpose. I don't think that was just lucky.
Yeah.
And he hid the coins or whatever, the crystals, but that was it. Like other than that, she basically beat him, and his team. So I don't see how him going, I need to come back and do it would make any sense unless he had new powers. Did Alpha make new shit? Like
I don't know.
Yeah, you don't know. There's a lot of questions that never had any context to properly be formed and answered.
Well, and it's like the Zeo crystals, and then they have the coins also, and I don't know the way Krispy Kreme. I don't get it.
Well, I mean that they needed money to pay for the movie, so they struck a deal with Krispy Kreme.
I mean, you could have had one of them work at a Krispy Kreme, and that be your plug. But that you don't need to make like she actually poses like it's a commercial, like she's eating a donut. Like that was funny, but like I don't know.
They
it's also
may
the
have had
same movie.
A stipulation where they had to mention the companies a certain amount of times in order to
get.
Just
say it 14 times. Okay,
yeah.
Shit.
But apparently they had to do that in the third act all the time.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. And then the dumb part of their of the face reveals while they're in the costumes was terrible, and that they're each physically in a limb of the body, and they don't get to like work together in a cockpit type of thing. Like
I didn't like that either.
Well, it's like some people liked that they each only control one part, but I'm like, how is that any
together?
How is that any type of efficiency being physically in the arm?
Yeah, like not only that, like one of them's in like the shin. So what if like the bad guy kicks that cockpit into the shin?
I know with me, I'm like, there's more targets to hit now as to where before that's the one that's the most protected, and then or in the head or whatever. But it's like in this, no, you get rid of one or you just hit one hard enough, knock them out or something, and they keep on taking their helmets off while they're inside. Like pretty easy battle here. But my God, the Zords, dude. God, what a disappointment! What a disappointment! They looked like they copied Pacific Rim and made it worse. Like
they really did. They didn't even have like the mastodon. They just had like this 6-legged creature thing. And
like, why?
Yeah,
like I don't even know. They made the toys, the little versions, and the show look and feel cooler than the CGI, and that's just like just them just being just going. Pretty much was cooler than these CGI monstrosities. And can you guys somehow explain why do they think that our eyes want to see this? Like with Transformers, at some point, like in the first one, it was fine because there was enough solid colors and not as many moving parts. But then they just keep on adding it to where there's a lot of silver and all these new colors all around, and everything's moving at once. And it's like your eyes just kind of go like, "Fuck!" Like where am I?
Sensory overload. It's sensory overload, so you can't think.
Who am I looking at, and why? I can't. Like my eyes have trouble like looking at what is there to know what I'm looking at, as to where when there's just more solid colors and less things moving around at once, I can go, there's a dude or it's a robot. You can see what they're doing, and it's not, I'm not thinking about all the aspects about it, and it's just easy. But with this, it's like, nah, I don't know what the fuck's going on.
No, they just overcomplicated it for sensory overload because they thought it'd be cool when you could just, with slight modifications, you can make that Megazord look very familiar to what everybody have seen before, but a little bit more sleeker, a little bit more leaner, a little less like a guy in a suit. But even though I probably would have preferred someone like a motion capture and then some registration points, and just made it look really fluid type of fight, and have fun with the old school Godzilla kaiju film aspect. That's what was cool about it. Don't make it like Pacific Rim. Make it like 1960s Godzilla.
Like you combine what they did with the Zords to what they did with Goldar. It's like, did they just not have budget to make them look cool, or like what? Like he's literally a blob.
Yep.
Yeah. They just were like, they don't realize he's like a monkey dog with wings and gold armor. He's just like, no, he's just Goldar. That must mean he's like all goldy. He's like liquid gold thing. What if he's liquid gold? Yeah, I'm like, no.
You might as well have had Ivan Ooze. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, you might as well have had Ivan Ooze.
I didn't mind the new take on Rita. I actually thought that was pretty cool. But I wish they would have had a morphed fight scene with her on the ground.
Yeah.
And then also a fight scene with like the Goldar before it got big as well, and then she makes it grow, and then they did the Zords, and then they had like 2 missed opportunities when they're in the Zords where they could have combined, where Kimberly picks up Billy with the pterodactyl. Yeah. And he's like fumbling around at the controls, like, "Whoa, what do I do? I don't know what I'm doing." He could have accidentally like did the combined thing right then and there. And then they're like, "Oh, let's combine our power," or Zordon would have like chimed in or whatever and be like, "This is how you do this." And then, or when Kimberly is on the back of the T-Rex, they could have also done it there. And they're just like,
or they accidentally start
it and have them combined.
Or they accidentally start getting stuck to each other. They're like, "Oh shit, oh, fuck, we can't. Oh, we're not. We're all moving together now." And then end up stumbling into the Zord. It's like, oh, okay. Oh, it's supposed to do this. Okay, cool, good. We didn't just screw it up. Good.
The whole suplex in the Zord was dumb. They could have done that in the morphed fight scene with Rita, like done that like suplex to her, and then
Well, so it's like. So are they suggesting that their hits and punches didn't do that much damage, but slamming him on the ground did?
Yeah.
Ground is harder than a fist, yes.
I don't know. It just again, and that's their callback. That's their callback, and it's like, oh, all right. At least they didn't bring up jacking off a bowl again.
I missed that whole part.
And that was at the very beginning, and it's like, why is that in a Power Ranger movie? A joke about jacking off a bowl.
Yeah, I don't. Why does Angel Grove not look like anything that'd be angelic or Grovish? It looks like a shanty town.
It looked like a piece of shit town, and the kids are all piece of shit. And I don't know. It's just like, okay, why would I care about any of you guys?
I made like Angel Grove kind of like a borough. A suburb of like Century City and Los Angeles and stuff, like just kind of out there. And then on top of that, after like they do their Zord battle and they win, they some buildings have been destroyed, and then one of the Rangers makes a joke that the Red Ranger's dad will at least get a lot of work because he's in construction. It's like, we saved the city except for that part over there, but it's okay. Jason's dad will fix it.
That'd be kind of fun. That'd be a good joke, a good running joke.
No, that's kind of like what I was doing. Is like I was trying to import a lot of comedy because when the Rangers first like get their suits on, and they're in the command center. Jason sees Trini in the skin tight yellow suit, and he just starts checking her out, and like she can feel his eyes on him. He's just like, "What? I'm not looking at you." And he's like, but his helmet's clearly staring right there, and he's trying to like lift it up, and then he's got to do a close up of his eyes inside the helmet where he's like looking down and oogling her, and she's like getting a little like a lot of like horny joke stuff, and like Zach makes a joke how like Zordon is really just channeling Marlon Brando from Superman, like floating head in a tube.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you just gotta like throw in the humor there, because number one, Power Rangers had humor, and number two, you need a little bit of levity here and there when you've got like the fate of the world like on the brink.
There's a good cycle of drama and comedy and whatnot that are supposed to comedy, drama, action. They're supposed to kind of come into your Power Ranger movie, and I would say that it's all there in the 2017 one, but not in any cohesive way. It's just like, here's a joke, but it's not funny. Here's some action, but there's no stakes here. There's trauma, but we don't care. Like, it's just like, okay.
You have to have the connective tissue. The joke has to correspond to the context of what's going on.
Krispy Kreme.
Yeah, Krispy Kreme.
Or otherwise, they're going to a Krispy Kreme all the time.
It's their best joke, you know, I guess.
The way it's addressed from an alien's perspective, I guess they kind of nailed it, because of course they're going to be repeating the word that they don't understand to try and get a bearing on it. Yeah, she's just
yeah, see, when you mentioned the Godzilla kaiju thing, I kind of wish that was a monster that they used in the movie. Like some type of like she summons this, you know, big thing, like she leads on that, you know, oh, you know, I'm just gonna be I'm the only one here and whatnot. You're just gonna face me. Oh, we got these Zords. Oh yeah. Big old Godzilla thing comes out, and it's like, oh shit, that'd be a cool threat.
Yeah, well, I had the Sphinx as the main monster in the movie script that I wrote, but I had Scorpina, Goldar, and they were also like grown big, huge. So the Rangers had to fight all three of them with their separate robots until Goldar and Scorpina got injured and retreated because they're cowards. And the Sphinx was super powerful anyways, and then that's when they kind of figured out that they had to combine, and then they were getting their butt kicked because they didn't know how to use the machine in order to fight back, until like Billy figures it out, and he starts like leading everyone how to use their stuff because he's the scientist guy, and then Jason is like saying, okay, well, this is how you fight because I'm the martial arts guy. And yeah, and then that's how those two work together, and they defeat him. They end up rescuing Billy's dad in space, and then yeah, that's like the end of the movie. And then yeah,
see, I want to see that movie.
Yeah, same.
I want to see that movie too. If they ever try to do another reboot, I'll totally repitch it and maybe update the script a little bit. And
like, I advocate for having some of the older actors, if they would ever go, like Jason David Frank or something, or you know, Austin.
Jason David Frank will do anything.
I know he would. I know he would. If you've seen him,
it's wonderful, but he does also need money, so he'll do anything.
If you saw my actor appreciation video of him, like I go over, he's been like at least in 10 or so fan film projects, like type of things. He does anything he can. He's always there for the fans and whatnot. Awesome dude. But it's like, if he was like a teacher, like if you were to have him as a teacher or something, or have some of the other old cast members be teachers at their school.
I'd have made him a beat cop.
And there you go. That's something too. And it's like, they don't have to be the old Rangers that they were, or you could maybe have hints that they were at one point or something. I don't know. Different power if you wanted, but it's like, you know, that'd just be a better use of them rather than, you know, that's our cameo.
Yeah,
you know, taking a picture. Like,
pictures.
You had them on set. Amy Jo Johnson's a good actress too. She's on Flashpoint.
Series, yeah.
She was okay on there. Not horrible. That was all right. Could have been. Well. Yep.
Even the deleted scene they had for the cameo was better than what we got. Like them when they're in the cafe or whatever, and like doing, and then they're there in the background eating, and I forget exactly what it was, but they're in there, and I thought it felt more natural than what we actually got.
Yeah, but it's like that would have been something too if like maybe they're trying to solve a problem, trying to figure out how to beat Rita and them or something, and you know, they vaguely are talking about it, and somebody can kind of hear them, but not really to fully get it, and you have one of the old actors or something give some type of suggestion because their profession that they do. Just like, hey, I don't know what you guys are talking about a video game or something he's thinking about maybe, hey, try doing this, that, and this. And it's like, okay, shit, that'd be a decent use of a cameo, something rather than, you don't get the old actors on set to just hold their phone up and look at and gawk at.
Well, it's casting. It's there for PR and placation and
or even like you would say,
they're decent actors, but I mean the kids in that film are definitely better actors than the original Power Rangers actors at their time. So
right, true.
There is something to be said about that. It's just that I think the cast was actually like decently selected for what they were trying to do. They just weren't given anything fun to do. You don't make a bleak Power Rangers a bleak movie. Like it's supposed to be like very, very light, cheerful. Your mid act is your bleak part because like that's the struggle. That's the stuff that gets real. And then your third act is them kind of trying to restore the normal, their normal situation, and then come out stronger as a result. And
that's just typical movie 101, pretty much.
It is. But like the color palette in that film was flat.
So many of films, especially in the 2015, 2018 area, just flat.
Yeah, and there was no sense of joy or fun with the actual property.
No.
I mean, you want to have a lot of, you want to like exploit the things that the kids really liked about it.
Yeah.
Well, it's like they give them powers, like superhuman powers, and they try to fight her before they even can morph. And it's kind of like, what?
Yeah, that's why I said they should have had a morphed fight with her, and it would have made a little more sense.
They morphed and fought putties, and that was it.
Yeah,
like they did more in the first movie and Turbo.
And then they called the Zords and basically took out the putties in that process too.
Yeah.
So it's like,
and we didn't really see any sort of military or National Guard intervention in that movie. I don't recall.
Yeah.
Because I had like the city under siege. Like the military tried to stop the putties, and the putties just took them out. And then they're like camps. Like people were like held in camps for labor camps and stuff.
Right. See, that's something I'd like to see in a Power Ranger thing. You can still have dramatic stuff like that and still make it, it can be bleak, but still, not too scary for the kids and stuff. And having the military attempt to do something
right up to the edge where they'll be like uncomfortable, but like engaged and wanting to see how they'll get out of that. Yeah.
Right. That would have been cool. That's why I like Time Force too, because they actually have the city trying to, or at least the private sector, trying to fight off these freaking things that are attacking.
Actually, it's kind of funny you say Time Force because essentially, like, what Batwoman is doing is stealing kind of the dynamic of Time Force. Like, Batman has vanished, or sorry, you have new Batman, and then you got the Crows who are like the Time Force, the private company trying to do the same job. They're just one beat away from getting a super suit and having what's her name help fight.
Right, but the difference though being that they didn't necessarily steal all of it. They got glimpses of the power and tried to copy it and stuff. And tried to match up against their enemies pretty much. And when they had a Ranger on their own, they tried to take from that technology, but that he earned. So still more justified. And they tried to make a big machine to fight the big ones, and did like a little damage, and that was it. And then it's like, okay, that was pretty much useless from now on. But
that was like the Quantum Saurus or the Quasar-saurus or something.
Well, no, this was before the Quantosaurus, the Q-Rex Quantosaurus came into play. Frax had built one of his giant robots, and their Zords were still being repaired or something in the future. And they didn't have any means to defend the city at the moment, but the city built a little cannon thing to fire at giant threats because they're like, Rangers aren't coming. Let's test our new weapon. And then it does a little damage, and then it just blows it up. But they're like, oh, fuck. Okay, that was it. But they tried.
It's like, hey, you need to show the effort. Like, you can't just have everyone sort of just run and hide, and then it's like, oh, we gotta leave it up to these 5 kids.
Yeah, I mean, see, when you're saying how you'd have Angel Grove, like the way I imagined it is that if they're going to do it in a movie anyway, is that it would be kind of like a utopia, and not like a full on utopia, but it's like, oh, there's not as much crime. It's pretty nice around here. Things are looking pretty and whatnot. It's not too bad. But then these freaking giant monsters keep on coming around and messing up our city, and nobody is really used to having to fight for things. So they end up having, the Rangers doing that a lot, but there's situations that are tough for the Rangers to where the people got to kind of figure out how they're going to deal with it. Either just be captured and that's it, or try to fight sometimes, or some people take things into their own hands, which don't help much, but maybe they could beat a putty, something, at least make a weapon that can fend a few people off or something.
Well, that was the cool thing that I played around with the putties, is that if you tried to shoot them with a bullet, they're clay, so it would just either pass through them, or they would like open up a hole around the bullet and just pass through them, or
so it's not like they're more skilled. It's just the weapons are ineffective.
The weapons are ineffective to them, and the only thing I had is that Jason was able to break a putty because he kept on hitting it over and over and over again to the point where it kind of cured and shattered. And he did that before he became got the power and stuff, and that's kind of how he ended up getting picked. At least that's what I insinuate.
So yeah, I don't think that
remains the only things that kind of really did a number on the putties. But if there's another putty nearby, just absorb the remains of that one and be a bigger putty.
That's a cool effect. I like that.
Yeah,
the minions, and then they kind of have a final little boss, a final mini boss.
Yeah, after 3 putties, the putty can't get any bigger. So if you just keep on blowing it up, they'll just reform into more putties again. But 3 is the magic number.
Okay.
So it just makes it almost impossible for munitions to really do anything. So you have to, just shatter them.
See, I was gonna say I like that thinking, because if this was gonna be a movie series or go into a good television series of some kind, a mini one or something, that'd be kind of a cool effect where it's okay, so you can't use bullets. So if you figure out if you can burn them or freeze them, then you can figure out how to beat them. Even people can learn how to do that, or the city police force or something can, make somewhat of a defense or something, against some of them sometimes a little bit.
And then you have to have the putties kind of find a way to adapt, because I did have in the third act I had the Red Ranger kind of jury rig a flamethrower. He basically put the putty in a kiln and then turn them into a ceramics type of thing. But after a couple of putties, the other one, they just would form a clay shield, and then that would take the brunt of the fire, and then they'd discard it and then charge at the Ranger. So it wasn't any type of new technique you'd have, the putty would adapt to, kind of like the Borg, but a bit more defeatable still.
I kind of like that, especially if they go into battle frequently. That's
exactly. They're supposed to be formidable goons, so you got to make them.
It's why would they have incompetent goons that can't do any, that are ineffective? That kids can just beat up, that Justin could beat up. Why would you have that or something? You gotta have them be a challenge.
Because I thought that it would be cool to keep them they're stone, but part of where their joints are and stuff is still your loose clay, so that's why they're still called putties, and that's why they can move and whatnot. So yeah, I was just playing around with that. So if you just pound them to bits, they can't reform because the putty part is all that's left. So that's the only part that can reform. So you can slowly wear them all down, but if you were a Power Ranger and you had all that power, you could go through them faster and then eventually wipe them all out before they could reconstitute themselves.
Would you have it be where somebody like Finster makes the putties still, or that they're?
Oh yeah, Finster was still around. He was making putties and making monsters and stuff out of the clay.
Do you have a joke of carpal tunnel or something? I'm making them as fast as I can, Rita. Fuck, God, they keep on destroying them. Sorry, but
I didn't have that because Finster just had he had a mold for them, so he just put it in the clay and then clamp it down, and then that's how he made it.
I was imagining in Spy Kids or something when they have to form the clay all the time or something.
There's a little one-off in one of the annuals for Power Rangers the comic where it has Finster, and he I guess accidentally killed this girl that he liked of his race. So he's constantly recreating her out of clay and bringing her back to life because he has a piece of her hair, and every time he brings her back, she's not exactly 100%, who she needs.
Because cloning, never has.
So he's trying to perfect what he's doing to bring back his loved one. Yeah,
some good character. Wow.
Mm-hmm. And then when I was playing Battle for the Grid, they make him Finster 5. And yeah, he's got basically Alpha 5, his body parts and stuff as armor.
Interesting.
Oh, that's dark.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
God, see, there's so much creativity you can use with Power Rangers. That's why it's
a very lucrative, creatively lucrative property.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that's missing is just good character arcs for your heroes.
Mm-hmm.
Once you get that down, and just put in all the other stuff that the show did really well, you've got something that'll actually go beyond the little kiddie market that it's had for a while. And then not just have those that like grew up watching it and that still watch it for nostalgia and curiosity, and in some cases like me, morbid curiosity. Because like I could sit back and watch those first 5 seasons and Time Force without any issue. They're actually pretty good, well-crafted stories. But like it's all the stuff in between and after that's like crazy. Like when Disney had Power Rangers for I think 4 or 5 years, it was obscenely derivative. And it lost a lot of money. And then Haim Saban just bought them back. And
I like some of the Disney era stuff like that. Ninja Storm and Dino Thunder was really good as well. So,
was Wild Force in that mix too?
I think so.
Yeah, they had some moments in there that were pretty good.
Either Lost Galaxy or the one after that is when Disney.
Lightspeed Rescue.
Yeah,
Lightspeed Rescue I think was when Disney picked it up, or after that was when Disney picked it up.
Yeah.
Huh. And then Samurai is when Saban got it back.
Saban got
Yeah, there are some moments in there that are okay, like kind of like this with the Wild Force.
I finished off your parents, and I enjoyed every single minute of it. They begged me for mercy, so I gave it to them. I ended their worthless existence quickly.
No. How? How could you do something like that?
The acting's horrible, but it's still
the dialogue's terrible too. It's actually a verbatim translation of a Japanese script.
It's bad, but it's like it's trying to have drama that he killed his parents. Like they tried, you know, with that. There's moments, and the whole Zanaku part in there is pretty cool too.
He was great in that.
Yeah. That when he became Merrick, it was
there, but like the Red Ranger just god awful.
Well, like he has with Cole, he has moments in the show that I like, but it's the delivery that I hate. It's
still not as bad as Megaforce Red. That guy cannot emote at all.
I've heard rumors of the Megaforce Red.
He's so bad.
But like with Cole, like in the season finale, like I think that was where he did his best in the season finale of Wild Force, where there's the giant orc guy who already destroyed all their Zords pretty much, and they had connections to their Zords. They weren't just normal machines; they were kind of the friends. And then they lost their powers too and whatnot. So it's just them in the rain at night fighting, and then there's he tears off his clothes and he's just like, I'm gonna still keep on fighting. It's just like, all right, that was all right. That was pretty cool. That was pretty good. Like that was a moment of kind of dire, but like they're still not going to give up. They have nothing. They had everything, and they have nothing now, and they're still going to try. So they had moments in the Disney ones that were okay. Though I did think the stupid fountain and the princess, a lot of it was really dumb. Most of the team was lame, except for Taylor was okay.
And that's where I was won over. Literally creates a palm tree out of nowhere. Gets in the thing and throws bananas.
The Zord.
Which was awesome.
The polar bears, that was pretty fun. They had some fun stuff, but it's stupid fun. Like it's just like, okay, this is what you're doing? Okay. Man, I really wish that like we could get like Power Rangers. I don't get why more people don't like it in some ways. It's like I get why it's hard to watch sometimes, but there's just a lot of stuff in it that is still good.
It
I
has
never
little nuggets of goodness, but what I found is as soon as you actually end up seeing like the original Sentai stuff, you kind of fall in love with that more than the Power Rangers.
Well, I haven't. Okay, I can't attest to that yet because I haven't seen any of them. But the one thing that so they don't have any huge connecting thread throughout the story. There's no like 3 seasons are kind of back to back to back or anything. I mean, they're all back to back, but like they're not like in
It's
the
a brand
Mighty
new
Morphin,
show every year, yeah.
like in the Mighty Morphin one, they're fighting this huge battle that goes for many seasons basically, and like a lot of the times it's the same people that were rangers there are going to be a ranger in the next one, even if it's just one, or it starts as a new one the next time, but an old one comes back and is a new ranger there or something like that. Do they have stuff like that in Sentai? Like
they have some crossovers, and they do have some characters that come back. Like in one of them later, they bring back the Rita Repulsa character from the original Sentai.
No, you're not talking about Mystic Force, are you?
Mystic Force.
Well, she's like an angel, and then she dies, sacrificing herself. Like
no,
because it's the same actor who played the Rita in the series.
I know what you're thinking of though. But she's like an Indian.
No, not an Indian. She's in a white like gown.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I'm.
That's what you mean. She's like
I describe it as Indian, but
basically Glinda the Good Witch. Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, because like in the Mystic Force run, they so briefly mention they're like, what's her name, and then who is that? Oh, she used to be Rita in the Dark Times, but now she's all nice and cool. It's like wait, huh? Wait, what? They skip over the line and then just cut to her, and she's just like
turned to good,
goofy, and I don't know. It just was like, why did you do that?
I mean, the actor came back for the actual Sentai ones. They thought they'd use it again.
Yeah, but it's so just with continuity wise, I'm like, what?
Well, the actors in one, she's thrown back in the space dumpster.
Oh, really?
Like she doesn't die or anything. She's just thrown back. Goldar has a kid with Scorpina.
What?
Yeah.
Did they actually have like an ending of Scorpina? Because in the regular one, he just kind of drops out.
No, like everything's kind of resolved by the end of the 50 episode series for Zoo Ranger.
Do the bad guys always die, or does any ever survive?
I mean, there's a lot of death in Die Ranger and O Ranger, the Zeo and Thunder Zord's version of Power Rangers. There's a lot of death in that one.
Well, I guess because you said they're all resolved by the end of the season. So in my head, that means we defeated all the bad guys and that's it. Like
O Ranger has a really weird ending. I mean, like all the bad guys are defeated, but there's some leftovers. That's kind of weird.
Like I guess that's what I meant. Like, cause sometimes there's ones where it's like, okay, there's some generals survive or something, but they're not entirely bad, so maybe they get to live. But
yeah, there's some situations like that. There's a lot of redemption in the Die Ranger story, and there's also like a circle of life aspect to it as well. So it's all pretty satisfying. And then O Ranger is pretty cool. It is the darker one of all of them, but it's really fun because they're fighting robots all the time, and things get pretty serious, and it's a really long war from the perspective of the humans. So yeah, I'd say check those two out. Zoo Ranger is good to check out because you kind of understand the Green Ranger storyline in Mighty Morphin a lot more as a result. You understand why they did it the way they did it. Let's see, I'm trying to think what else.
That mean brothers.
Well, they're not necessarily biological brothers, but like one was bartered for or something.
They have like a rivalry or whatever.
Yeah, they have like the Red Ranger's the adopted brother.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's not like Overdrive where he's a robot.
No, the Red Ranger's the adoptive brother. The Green Ranger's the older one who gets cast out and rescued by some gnomes.
Yeah. Doesn't he gets like an illness too or something in a...
he's put in stasis and he gets killed while he's in stasis. And so he only has so many hours of a lit candle left to live. So as long as he leaves this certain area. If he returns, he's fine. But if he leaves, the candle starts to burn, and when it completely burns out, he then crosses over to the afterlife.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes a little more sense on the candle part.
Yeah.
It's like, there's like, we have this candle, and his power is just going to run out now.
And so he has to live in this mausoleum sort of thing. And that's why he doesn't always help the Rangers whenever they're in dire straits unless it's absolutely necessary.
Mm-hmm.
So he always comes in at the last minute to help because he only has a few minutes. You can only spare so much time out in the real world.
I gotcha.
And then
he uses life sparingly, kind of.
Exactly, and then he has to figure out how to do it so that he can stop Rita Repulsa's plot. Because if he dies before they stop her, then they're never gonna stop her, sort of thing. So.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Interesting. So yeah, it seems like that'll be interesting then to see their little darker takes on everything that happened. Because, I'm just wondering how that would work with it. The way that I don't know if it was you, Angelus, or somebody else that said that each season of Sentai is like literally their own individual universe, and then it's like a universal, like, hey, our next door neighbor universe crossover. It's not the same. It's not the same planet Earth. It's two different Earths or something. Like,
because Gokaiger starts with like all Earth's Rangers and all the other universes Rangers in Sentai. It starts with the mega battle. Because they basically use their energy to destroy the first wave of the Armada that comes in, and then the Pirate Rangers show up, and they
haven't collected all of those guys that scattered. Yeah.
So they have all the keys, and they throughout the season they encounter past Sentai, and they learn like a life lesson or something, and they either gain the ability to morph into them or a power for their Zord that they can use on it.
Yeah, and the one thing that's kind of really messed up, I guess, with the most recent Sentai things is that the entire cast of characters, they all look like anime cartoons with big flashy hair and like they're in some sort of pop band.
Yep.
A Yu-Gi-Oh cast.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, Ninja is like that, where like their Gold Ranger comes in. He's basically like a stereotype of a cowboy from America, and he has a burger phone morpher and everything. And yeah.
Oh, does he have a guitar weapon too, or something?
Yeah. His sword is like a guitar and a gun.
Of course.
Yep.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, in ours, he's a country music star.
Makes sense.
Oh, that's okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who is actually the brother of the Red Ranger that went missing in the beginning of Ninja Steel.
Oh, of course it is. Right.
Yep.
So the brother goes missing and ends up becoming a rock star.
Yep. Becomes a rock star. Still knows ninja stuff to some degree, and because their dad is a ninja, and they trained the kids, and then yeah.
This is the normal Power Ranger one, right?
Yep. Yeah,
okay,
the normal Power Ranger.
It'd be like the greatest ninja that I've ever lived or something.
Yeah. Because he got captured by the bad guys and basically was raised on after his dad went missing, was raised on the enemy's ship, and then he escapes in the beginning of it.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Just doing a quick Google search of this right now.
Because he has like a robot that's with him called Redbot, and he helps him escape. And there's this like he played other characters in other seasons. He's their like mentor basically, and teaches them how to use the Ninja Steel, which is basically this crust that was over this big giant shuriken that they melt down and make shurikens and give them as their morphers and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Holy crap! The Pink Ranger's like built. Like
what, in Ninja Steel? The Pink Ranger in Ninja Steel is pretty nice looking. Not gonna lie.
Oh, she's got like shoulder muscles, biceps, like abs. Like it's weird.
Hell yeah.
It's like, oh my god, it's been ages since they've had a Power Ranger that looks like they've worked out.
They can actually put effort as far as physicality into it. Yeah.
Yoshi, who plays Koda in Dino Charge, he's actually in a Sentai season. He's the only American actor that has actually gone over and been in the Japanese Sentai.
Interesting.
Probably pays better at
that. The more you know.
Yeah, and then Ninja Steel's Blue is Koda's real life brother. So they had like a team up in Ninja Steel from Dino Charge, and there's like in their crossover episode basically.
Okay. It's pretty cool. I don't think I'll get around to watching Ninja Steel. To be honest, I don't know. It's kind of tough. Mystic Force was the one that I watched, like without having any ties to my childhood. Really, like, let me see if I can watch it. And
there's something not bad. Dino Charge was better.
Yeah, it's like there's some things that are all right, but it's kind of hard. Jungle Fury is what I've tried to watch as well. I maybe made it a few episodes in. I know everybody says it gets good actually, but it's kind of tough to really sit and watch.
Like the Shark Sword and some other items that are pretty cool in that.
Yeah, it's like the villain so far. I'm like I hate him because it's like just nothing about him that is menacing. It's just like I'm here. Why aren't we winning? It's like okay, but everybody says he gets really cool. So
yeah,
we'll awesome. See. Yeah, but I think that about covers it. We've long since talked about the movies now. So.
Yeah,
completely.
The other stuff is way better than the movies.
Yeah, in a way, well, it's like the creativity with them. Like, have you seen the Unworthy, Power Rangers Unworthy script doctor?
I think so. That's the one with like the Rangers going in to kill all the other Rangers to get power or something.
Well. Yeah, let's just give a little glimpse here because I fucking love it. This is a fan film.
Oh, this is this. Yeah. You showed me this.
Oh, yeah. I remember this guy. Yeah.
Who dares?
Johnny Oliver of Earth 193. You abused the powers of the Morphin grid. You've betrayed it, corrupted it. For your crimes, the grid must be purged.
Damn.
Yeah.
Fucking love that design. And the voice. Love that.
Nice.
I'm the Arbiter, the first Ranger. You must be purged.
That's one thing I like about the Lord Draken thing. Like they made like all the other Rangers like infantry units and like or at least the Black Ranger is the sentry unit. And then the Red Ranger has like this double-bladed staff thing, and then Kimberly is the Ranger Slayer, and she's like got it looks like the Sword of Darkness, but it's a bow.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Interesting stuff. Well, and the whole Shattered Grid thing helped make all these other spin-off ones. There's actually another Power Ranger fan film that has like a green Psycho Ranger chasing. A ranger in time, or chasing a ranger in time, like the Omega one from SPD. Actually,
okay.
They have chasing him around, and he meets up with Wes, the Time Force one, and they end up teaming up and trying to do some stuff. And they're still working on episodes. They're also making like a Ninja one as well, so they're making a couple different fan series at the same time. So they're still in progress, but I like the creativity that they bring to it, and the whole time travel stuff and different universes. Dimensions frees up a lot of things. You can do whatever you want. Pretty much. But I think that about wraps it up for this stream. We're gonna do another one next Saturday. Why not? We can talk a little bit more going into the seasons. Last time we talked about the 3 seasons of Mighty Morphin, pretty much all the way through, and then most of Zeo, which again now is hardly anything to say about Zeo. So, and I think we also covered Turbo a little bit last time, and a little bit this time also. But, we can start talking about the in space and galaxy next time, and some of the Sentai stuff going on along with that. And if you guys want to say any last little things, go ahead. The floor is yours.
If you guys like gaming and stuff, just give me a subscribe over on my channel. I just did the Power Ranger Battle of the Grid, so if you want to check that out, that's over there. and then I'll be doing this Saturdays, and that's pretty much it.
Hell yeah. Give him a subscribe at Angelus Draven. And take it away, Bill.
Yeah. So, yeah, my latest video, the Picard finale, dropped the other day. So go check that on my channel, youtube.com/scriptdoctor. And yeah, I'm gonna take a little bit of a palate cleanser break. This is a good start to that. Talking some silly but fun and well regarded memories of Power Rangers with you guys has been a blast. Angelus Draven, it is great meeting you and getting to stream with you tonight.
Too, finally.
And Rook, as always, it's a pleasure talking with you. And thanks very much for showing me that incredible bulk thing.
The amazing bulk.
The amazing bulk.
That's crazy.
Yes. Yes, it's fun. Yeah, it's fun having you guys on. If you want to come and join us again next time, Script Doctor, go ahead.
Yeah, if I got time, if I have time next week, I'll be happy to jump in. Yeah, absolutely.
Doing it same time next week, trying to keep it consistent. So
nice.
That's what we're doing. And yeah, without further ado, appreciate you, Ancient One, coming by, and AFK. And if anybody else wanted to drop by and see us later or something on replay, I appreciate everybody coming by, and have a good one.
Where? What does that mean? What's it called?
It's a Krispy Kreme.
Krispy Kreme.
It's Morphin time!